Okay, at 6 o'clock, we're going to get started. I would like to call to order the August 12th, 2025 Board of Education regular micro meeting. Can we have a roll call, please?
Ms. Fabian?
Present.
Ms. Hannah? Ms. Lensing?
Present.
Mr. McBride?
Present.
Ms. Ramirez?
Present.
Mr. Riddle?
Present.
President Rodriguez?
Present. We do have a quorum. Okay, I'd like to ask you to all stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda, opportunity for public comment. Do we have a sign-up sheet? Thank you. Okay, this is an opportunity for anybody who would like to address the board to come forward. You'll have 3 minutes to speak, and please come up to the, where's the podium?
Right here.
Okay, we moved it. Please come up to the podium and state your name. Patricia Garcia.
Good afternoon. I'm a teacher at Carmen Buckner, and I would like to humbly request if the board might reconsider my early retirement from January and extending it to the end of the school year of 2026. Life happened. I no longer ended up moving, and so you extended graciously the year, but I've had these same kids that I have this year. I had them last year because I was like their third teacher last year. So I would like to offer them some stability this year by not leaving in January and permitting me to work until the end of the school year so that the kids have at least that consistency and not be put through a couple of more substitutes. I'm a highly qualified teacher. Been teaching bilingual for 32 years. And Angela knows me from North Chicago, and she knows I get the job done. So I would really, truly love to be able to be of service to the district and stay till the end of the school year. And that's basically it. I reached out to TRS. They told me it wasn't no longer in their field, that I haven't even put through the paperwork yet. It was really a district issue. So I do have evidence of that, interoffice email so that you guys know that I'm serious. I've been bugging my principal since last fall. I've been bugging you since the spring. So yeah, that's basically it. I would truly appreciate it if you guys would give me the opportunity to finish out the school year. And that's it.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Senora Luz. I think he's getting you one. Here he is.
Miss Granda, if you guys can wait till he gets back so we can start this.
Okay, we're ready.
Buenas tardes, muchas gracias por la oportunidad que me dan de hablar y traer mis preocupaciones hoy.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. So I've been able to bring my worries here in front of you.
Tengo este papel aquí, es algo que nos dieron durante el día 30 y 31 en la high school.
I have this document with me, something that they gave me on July 30 and 31st at the high school.
Es algo que tenían que firmar los padres, si no lo firmaban no les daban el ID.
It's something that the parents have to sign. If they didn't sign, they couldn't get the ID.
Yo me negué a firmarlo por algunas razones que voy a comentar.
I denied to sign this document for some reasons that I'm going to share now.
Primero quiero decir que el día 30 el handbook no estaba disponible en la website del distrito.
First of all, I want to say that the handbook was not available at the district website on July 30.
El día 31 ya estaba disponible en inglés, pero no en español.
On July 31st, it was available in English, but not in Spanish.
Entonces quiero leer una parte muy importante que dice aquí.
So I want to read something very important that says here.
Aquí dice, he recibido y leído y cumpliré el manual de apoyo
I
de
have
estudiantes.
I have received, read, and I will follow the student handbook.
Además, reconozco que he leído y entiendo y acepto cumplir
I also recognize that I have read, understood, and accept. ¿Ya leíste eso?
Está bien así. Ok, lo que quiero llegar yo es que yo no recibí el manual.
What I want to say is that I did not receive
Y
this
si yo no
handbook.
lo recibí, yo no lo leí. Y si no lo leí, no lo comprendí.
If I did not receive it, it's because I didn't read it and I didn't understood it.
Yo sí me gustaría pedirles que si ustedes quieren que llenemos esto, manden el manual un mes antes.
I would like to ask you if you want us to sign these documents, please send this, with anticipation.
Así yo sí podré firmar esto.
So that way I can sign this document.
Otra de mis preocupaciones que tengo, estoy aquí porque en el mes de mayo un personal del distrito, la señora Sola, le gritó a los padres de BIPAC.
Another thing that I'm here to talk, another thing that worries me is because on May, district staff, Ms. Sola, was shouting to one of the parents of BPAC.
Yo he trabajado con la señora Ángela Ramírez y la señora Carolina Fabián.
I have worked with Ms. Angela Ramirez and Ms. Fabian.
Y déjeme decirle, estas señoras jamás yo vi que ellas le gritaran a los padres.
And let me tell you, I've never heard these two ladies shout to any parent.
Y es algo que se respeta de las señoras. Y les agradezco mucho, señora Carolina Fabián y señora Ángela Ramírez.
And that's something that I respect and I appreciate from you, Ms. Fabian and Ms. Ramirez.
Sí me gustaría, por favor, que pongan personal que esté calificado para trabajar con los padres.
I would like you to have a staff that is, qualified to work with parents.
Porque creo que los padres donamos tiempo, parte de nuestro tiempo, para ser voluntarias.
Because we give our time to the district as volunteers.
Agradezco también a la superintendente, siempre que nos ve dice gracias, gracias.
I want to thank the superintendent because she's always saying thank you, thank you.
Eso es algo importante porque valoran el trabajo de los padres.
That's very important because that means you're valuing the parents' job.
Por último, me gustaría pedirles por favor y hacer un comentario. Algunos padres se comunicaron conmigo y me hicieron saber que los niños del programa bilingüe no tienen el material que necesitan para empezar sus clases.
Lastly, I would like to ask you that some of the parents, the bilingual parents, contact me, and told me that they have not received the bilingual materials yet.
Entonces sí quisiéramos que estos niños estén preparados para empezar sus clases.
So we would like for these kids to be ready to start the classes.
Y como dice la superintendente en los emails que manda, que puede haber mucho estrés y eso puede causar estrés.
And as the superintendent's email says that this can cause stress, and that's true, it causes
Y más con la
stress.
situación actual que está, uno como padre dice, bueno, no hubo fondos, ¿qué pasó? ¿Por qué no tenemos este material disponible?
And more with what the parents are feeling like we don't have the funds, why don't we have these materials available?
Muchas gracias, agradezco que me hayan escuchado y espero que puedan apoyar a los padres.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you listening to me, and I hope you can support the parents.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Ms. Granda, Dr. Cesario will be in contact with you, if not this evening, mañana. He will be in contact with you, if not this evening, tomorrow. He's in the back. And we'll look into your concerns. Gracias.
Thank you. Gracias. Okay. Next item is closed session. I would like to ask for a motion to move to closed session permitted by statute 5 ILCS 120/2 for discussion of items which fall under the following categories: C1, specific personnel appointments, employment, compensation, performance dismissals; C6, real estate exceptions; C8, safety and security procedures; C11, legal matters. Did I leave anything? I think that's it, okay.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Fabian, second by Ms. Hannah. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. Fabian?
Yes.
Ms. Hannah? Ms. Lensing?
Yes.
Mr. McBride? Yes. Ms. Ramirez?
Yes.
Mr. Riddle?
Yes.
President Rodriguez?
Yes, motion carries. We are now in closed session. legal matters. At this point, I would like to have a motion to go into open session.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Riddle, second by Ms. Hannah. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes.
Ms. Hannah.
Yes.
What the heck? Mr. McBride.
Yes.
Ms. Ramirez.
Yes.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
President Rodriguez.
Yes, motion carries. We are now in open session. Next item on the agenda, item 7, purchases and contracts.
It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Education authorize the board president and superintendent to execute the intergovernmental agreement between the City of Waukegan and the Waukegan Community Unit School District Number 60 to provide public safety services from July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026, with the value of $146,666.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Riddle to approve,
Second.
second by Ms. Hannah. Any discussion on the motion?
I am, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Ms. Hannah.
I am glad that this is done at this time. And, I am hoping that our officers, our SROs are in the school, first day. Were they in school?
No, they're going to come into schools once the board votes on the contract.
Well, they'll be in school hopefully tomorrow, and one at both campuses.
Yes.
And if they are like if the one is like the officer, I'm gonna call him Officer Filatico, then our students are going to benefit greatly from him.
Thank you, Ms. Hannah. Ms. Lensing?
I feel that in the past, I've been very clear about my personal opinions with the research on SROs and what really it takes for safe schools, which again, it's community resources, it's a team project. But I understand the community's desire to have an SRO, and I agree with Ms. Hannah. Officer Filatico has been an example or exemplary SRO for our district, and he's the type that I spoke about during the campaign or when I campaigned to be on the board, very similar to Officer Mike Jones. So with Ms. Hannah, I am hoping for the very best for our officers to join us at the school district.
Thank you, Ms. Lensing. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Fabian.
Yes.
Ms. Hannah.
Yes.
Ms. Lensing.
Yes.
Mr. McBride. Yes. Ms. Ramirez.
Yes.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
President Rodriguez.
Yes, motion carries. Item 8, personnel items. We will wait for the superintendent to get back.
Sorry, we're talking about charger.
You're up. Personnel items.
Thank you. It is the recommendation that the Board of Education accepts the administration's recommendation to approve the appointments, retirement extension, accept the resignations and terminations as found on schedules F1002, L949, T317, and G660.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Mr.
Second.
Riddle, second by Ms. Fabian. Any discussion on the motion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Fabian.
Yes.
Ms. Hannah.
Yes.
Ms. Lensing.
Pass.
Mr. McBride.
Yes.
Ms. Ramirez.
Yes.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
President Rodriguez.
Yes, motion carries. Item 8B.
Give me 1 minute. No, we need to go through administration,
Oh, I'm
please.
sorry, you
The
sure do.
We've got a lot of them today.
No problem. At this time, I'd like to introduce, give me 1 minute. Let's see. Oh, Jakara Jones, who previously served as the interim facilitator of restorative practices with the salary of $56,299. He will now serve as the facilitator of restorative practices at North Elementary with the salary of $56,299.49. Congratulations, Mr. Jones. I could see him here.
Congratulations. Welcome.
Our next appointee Can we go to the next screen, please? Our next appointee is Zarena Duffy, who previously was an HR generalist at the City of Waukegan. She will now serve as the Family Liaison Manager at John Lewis Middle School with a starting salary of $40,000. Congratulations, Ms. Duffy. Our next appointee is Ms. Shakita Jones, who previously was the Executive Director of Furthering the Lives of Youth. She will now serve as the Manager of Family and Community Engagement here at Lincoln Center with a starting salary of with a starting salary of $68,000. Congratulations to one of our alumni, Ms. Jones. She said no.
Come on.
It's her love. Our next appointee is Mr. Bryant Rice, who previously served as an assistant principal at Lyon Elementary. He will now serve as the assistant principal at Glenwood Elementary with a starting salary of $77,480. Congratulations, Mr. Rice. Our next appointee is Ms. Stephanie Golden, who previously was an instructional coach at North Elementary. She will now serve as the assistant principal at Lyon Elementary with a starting salary of $74,500. Congratulations, Ms. Golden. Our next appointee is Ms. Dana Jemerson. Give me 1 minute. Who previously was a principal consultant in special education with the Illinois State Board of Education. She will now serve as the assistant principal at North Elementary with a starting salary of $83,000. Congratulations, Ms. Jamerson.
Congratulations.
Welcome.
Our next appointee is Michelle Miller, who served as an assistant principal on Round Lake. She will now serve as the assistant principal at Jack Benny Middle School with a starting salary of $76,000. Congratulations, Ms. Miller.
Welcome.
Our next appointee is Ms. Sherry Fotto, who was a learning behavior specialist at Cambridge Lakes Charter School. She will now serve as the assistant principal at AOEC with a starting salary of $82,000. Congratulations, Ms. Fotto. Our next appointee is Mr. Ricardo Aceves, who was the Director of Multilingual Learners in Nels Township. He will now serve as the coordinator for the bilingual department with a starting salary of $110,000. Congratulations, Mr. Aceves.
We got it.
Our next appointee would be Dr. Keisha Jenkins. Ms. Jenkins served as an interim coordinator of school psychology. She will now serve as the coordinator of school psychology with a starting salary of $97,344. Congratulations, Dr. Jenkins.
Okay.
Can I just make a really quick comment, just so that, kind of put it out there? I'm hoping that somebody is telling the administrative appointments that when they're being appointed, so that they're showing up, because we saw a lot of them that didn't today, and it might be because they couldn't come, but just so that somebody in HR is letting them know.
Noted.
I mean, I know we changed our meetings.
Thank you. Item 8B.
Is it not plugged in?
It is recommended that the Board of Education issue a warning letter to tenured teacher concerning charges that are considered remediable and require the employee to remediate such behaviors in order to avoid dismissal pursuant to 105 ILCS 24-12D.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Riddle,
Second.
second by Ms. Fabian. Any discussion on the motion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Fabian?
I'm just hoping that this person follows through with the recommended actions and that we are keeping a close watch. And yes,
Ms. Hannah?
I pass.
Ms. Lensing?
I'm going to pass.
Mr. McBride?
Yes.
Ms. Ramirez?
Yes.
Mr. Riddle?
Yes.
President Rodriguez?
Yes, motion carries.
This matter involves Mr. Philemon Miranda.
Thank you. Item 9, financial reports.
It is recommended that the Board of Education accept the settlement agreement as presented by legal counsel and authorize the board president to sign the agreement.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Ms.
Second.
Riddle approved, second by Ms. Lensing?
Fabian.
Oh, Ms. Fabian. Okay, any discussion on the motion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Fabian?
yes.
Ms. Hannah?
Pass.
Ms. Lensing?
Yes.
Mr. McBride?
Yes.
Ms. Ramirez?
Yes.
Mr. Riddle?
Yes.
President Rodriguez?
Yes, motion carries. Item 9B.
It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Education ratify the 2nd of July 2025 board bills, mail check request payments, and no national bank insurance payments for the period of July 16th, 2025 through August 5th, 2025. The accounts payable board payments for the period of July 16th, 2025 through August 5th, 2025 total $3,063,300.10. The manual check request payments for the period of July 16th, 2025 through August 5th, 2025 total $7,576,298.52. The Old National Bank insurance payments for the period of July 16th, 2025 through August 5th, 2025 total $4,462,707.51.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Riddle to approve,
Second.
second by Ms. Fabian. Any discussion on this motion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Fabian?
Yes.
Ms. Hannah?
Pass.
Ms. Lensing?
Pass.
Mr. McBride?
Yes.
Ms. Ramirez?
Yes.
Mr. Riddle?
Yes.
President Rodriguez?
Yes, motion carries. Item 10, student discipline matters.
It is recommended that the Board of Education approves the student resolution as read.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yep, I'll go ahead and read. So whereas the administration and parent of student XXX685, student, reached agreement in principle as to the resolution of misconduct by student on charges of battery to staff level 2, a copy of which was reviewed by the board, and the administration recommends the board approve the agreement. Whereas the agreement provides for an expulsion from the Waukegan Public Schools for the 2025-2026 school year, held in abeyance so long as student attends and remains in good standing with an alternative school placement outside of the district, with reinstatement at the beginning of the 2026 to 2027 school year. Whereas parent and student were advised of the right to an expulsion hearing and voluntarily and knowingly waived this right, and student admitted to having engaged in the misconduct charge, and whereas the administration has determined that other available behavioral or discipline options are not appropriate and have been exhausted. Now, therefore, it is hereby resolved by the Board of Education that 1, the whereas clauses are adopted herein by reference as findings of the board. 2, the board approves the agreement between the district and parent, finding that it is in the best interest of the district to remove student XXX685 from the educational environment at this time because students' continuing presence in school would substantially disrupt, impede, or interfere with the operation of the school. The nature and severity of the infraction demonstrates that the student's continuing presence also threatens school staff and students. 3, the duration of the agreement is warranted on the basis of the severity of the misconduct and the opportunity it provides for student to receive counseling services during the period of exclusion to address the factors that contributed to the misconduct and develop more appropriate coping skills, reducing the risk of reoccurrence. 4, student number XXX685 additionally is prohibited from being on school grounds or district property or participating in or attending school activities for the period of the agreement, absent specific written permission of the building principal where the event/activity is to take place, for good cause as determined by the principal in consultation with the director of student outreach or their designees. Notwithstanding the foregoing, student may be present at the wraparound center at 214 Washington Street on an appointment basis for the purpose of participating in counseling services upon acceptance following referral. 5, the board president is authorized to sign the agreement and the superintendent or the superintendent's designee is to provide a copy of this resolution and the fully signed agreement to parent within 5 school business days from the effective date of this resolution. 6, this resolution shall take effect immediately. I move to approve as read.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Lenzing to approve, second by Mr. Riddle. Any discussion on this motion? Ms. Lenzing.
I just have a comment that I really respect and admire the student for taking accountability for their actions. It takes a lot to do that. Some adults aren't doing that. So for this young child to recognize like, yo, my bad, that was out of pocket. I should not have committed these acts or made these decisions, and is accepting the responsibility and seeking the support so that in the future they have the skill sets to make a better choice in the future. I am so very proud. So while it is not the best circumstance that we need to go through with this resolution, I fully appreciate the student and the family recognizing the need for these terms.
Thank you, Ms. Lenzing. Ms. Fabian?
Same, but I also want to say as a parent, I understand that it's a difficult process and decision. So I just want to thank the parent for working with the district as a partner to ensure that their child's academic success will go on, and that this resolution will be in the best interest not only of the district, but also of that family, because they'll receive the supports that they need. So again, thank you to the parents.
Thank you, Ms. Fabian. Ms. Hannah?
I just want to make sure that all of our students that are assigned or put into any alternative placement, that they are being followed up on by I don't know, outreach or someone to make sure that they are progressing and that they're staying on task, and so that they can have a good transition back into school once they have completed their alternative place.
Thank you, Ms. Hannah. Any other discussion? Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. Fabian?
Yes.
Ms. Hannah? Ms. Lenzing?
Yes.
Mr. McBride? Ms. Ramirez?
Yes.
Mr. Riddle?
Yes.
President Rodriguez?
Yes, motion carries. Okay, next item on the agenda is adjournment, but I want to get some clarification first because we still have some items that we did not complete on the closed session agenda. Are these items that we need to go back into closed session on tonight? They are not. Okay, so then we can adjourn. We don't have to go into recess. Okay, I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Mr. Riddle, second by
Fabian.
Ms. Fabian. Roll call. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned at 7:20. Don't go away, there's more fun to come.
Next meeting.
Student achievement next. Okay.
Okay. Operational or?
We're gonna go right into, you wanna take a few-minute break? Or shall we wait till the end?
Yeah, I'm gonna let Eduardo sit here.
Okay, we are going to take a 5-minute break before we go into the student achievement meeting.
All right.
We still have 2 more meetings on the agenda, student achievement and operational services. We will be back shortly.
Mr. Rodriguez, I'm gonna let Eduardo take over.
Absolutely,
I'm starting to cough
absolutely.
again.
2025 Student Achievement Meeting. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mrs. McBride,
Yes.
Mr. Riddle,
Yes.
Ms. Hannah,
Yes.
Ms. Fabian, Ms. Lenzing,
Yes.
Ms. Ramirez,
Yes.
President Rodriguez.
Yes. Everybody is here. I'd like to point out that we have a fill-in today. Dr. Cesario is going to be filling in for the superintendent. She wasn't feeling well, so he will be filling in for this meeting. Okay, approval of the meeting minutes. We have the minutes from the meeting of, day was that? What is it?
May 13th.
May 13th, okay. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Riddle, second by Ms. Fabian. Any comments, corrections, changes to the minutes? A roll call vote, please, to approve.
Ms. Ramirez,
Yes.
Mr. Riddle,
Yes.
Mr. McBride,
Yes.
Ms. Hannah,
Yes.
Ms. Lenzing,
Yes.
Ms. Fabian,
Yes.
President Rodriguez.
Yes. Okay, minutes are approved. All right, I know it's not on the agenda, but since this is a separate meeting and there are different people here than that we had at the open meeting, I'd like to ask if there's anybody here present who would like to address the board. No one? Okay, moving forward. Dr. Cesario, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, this next item is the opening and the hearing on the WPS 60 e-learning plan.
President Rodriguez, if I may, we do need you to please open the hearing through a roll call vote.
Okay,
I'd like to make
Okay,
a
so-
motion for us to open the meeting,
open the hearing.
open the hearing on the Waukegan District 60 e-learning plan.
Motion by Ms. Hannah to open the hearing,
Second.
second by Ms. Fabian. Any discussion on that motion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Ramirez,
Yes.
Mr. Riddle,
Yes.
Mr. McBride,
Yes.
Ms. Hannah,
Yes.
Ms. Lenzing,
Yes.
Ms. Fabian,
Yes.
President Rodriguez.
Yes, motion carries. The hearing is now open.
Good evening, Board President, Deputy Superintendent Cesario, members of the board, staff, colleagues, and community. Tonight, we are here to present on the proposed adoption of the 3-year e-learning plan, which we will show a presentation in just a moment. Mr. White? No, it's one of the attachments, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's hard to believe that we have gone through 3 years of school where we had first been required to adopt an e-learning plan soon after the pandemic and school closures. And so we are now moving on to the next 3 years of needing to adopt a per school code and e-learning plan, which allows us to use an e-learning calendar schedule and plan to ensure that if we have an emergency day, that we can decide to call an e-learning day in lieu of having a snow day. Next slide, please. There are several steps within the process of making sure that we have gone through the school code requirements. One is making sure that we have had our plan verified by our Regional Office of Education, holding a public hearing, which we are conducting tonight, and ensuring that we have publicized the plan in our local newspapers, which we have completed. We want to make sure that our e-learning plan covers all the requirements for all different types of our learners, including special education students, English language learners, and that all the other provisions of our school code are able to be met. Some of the significant criteria that we want to make sure are part of our plan is that we have 5 hours of instruction during the school day, making sure that we have access to internet and computers, as well as other non-electronic materials in the event that students do not have access to devices or have access to technology or internet at home. Through our collaboration with our union leadership, various departments across the district, Teaching and Learning has helped develop some sample schedules, which we have utilized the past 3 years. In the past 3 years, we have only had to take 3 different e-learning days, and so this was the sample schedule that we collaborated on with many stakeholders to give sample guidance to classroom teachers and to school leaders on how a structure of a school day can look at different levels. And the next few slides provide sample schedules for remote learning at both pre-K, K through 5, middle school, and high school. Part of the additional criteria is making sure that we have supported our students with special needs. Dr. Bublitz and his team work with principals and their teachers to make sure that there's opportunities for accommodations and modifications for IEP implementation during e-learning days, making sure that we can monitor and verify students' participation, making sure that there are opportunities and ample notice. One of the things that we want to work on is making sure that the decision around e-learning is something that when we are considering that decision, that we make it in advance as much as possible so that teachers, students, parents, and school leaders can be prepared for those particular days. We also want to make sure that our staff are trained on what to do in the event prior, so it's not a last-minute thing that they have to figure out. And we also want to make sure that students and parents know what that day of learning will look like in advance by practicing logging on to the links, practicing logging on to the different platforms, and so everyone is well trained in advance. And we also, the last bullet point there is making sure that we have had collective bargaining contract negotiations, making sure that our collective bargaining agreements across our different unions are part of those conversations, and our e-learning plan has been vet through each of our collaborative, our CBAs and our collective bargaining units. We want to make sure that we're revising and reviewing strengths and areas of concern as we implement this. Again, we've only had to use this plan once each year for the past 3 years, and so we always look at what went well, what potentially could have gone better, and how do we work with school leaders and department leaders to make sure that we can address those concerns. And again, the last bullet point was just making sure that we, at least 30 days prior to potentially using an e-learning day, that staff, teachers, and students have an opportunity to understand the expectations and responsibilities for this particular plan. Should the board adopt this at the next meeting where we will potentially take action, the plan would go into effect as of September 1st and be valid through the 27-28 school year, and making sure that we provide ample notice to, again, teachers, staff, and students, making sure that we are well prepared in the event of an emergency or inclement weather day. Next bullet points are some frequently asked questions that we want to make sure are opportunities for parents to understand, staff to understand, and for students to understand. So an e-learning day is like an old-fashioned snow day. So if there is inclement weather or very cold weather conditions, we may that are forecasted, we may determine to take an e-learning day, especially when student travel could be particularly concerning. Again, communication will be going out if we do determine to take an e-learning day. Communication will be going out via phone calls, emails, and texts. And on an e-learning day, the students will be following a similar schedule. They'll have similar lessons prepared by their teachers. They'll have lesson plans and access to the same curriculum materials, and have opportunities to engage in a full 5 days, 5 hours of instructional materials, and making sure that they know kind of which link to get to and how to access their curriculum through Clever, making sure the students know how to access their information. One of the big questions that we grapple with is what do we do? Oh, sorry, can you go back? It's okay, thank you so much. If they do not have internet at home, or if their student doesn't have a device, or they don't bring their computer at home, we know just for developmentally appropriate practices, pre-K and kinder, we don't necessarily want them on a device all day long because their learning styles and their learning needs being younger students. Pre-K and kinder teachers do prepare home paper activities and choice boards for students to complete, and so no internet at those grade levels is particularly required. Students can complete those activities at home and submit them back to school, and they will be able to receive credit for their learning. In grades 1 through 12, if for some reason they do not have internet access or opportunities to access a device, students may be able to complete their assignments when they're back in school for full credit if internet access or device access was a concern. Teachers do take attendance by seeing who has joined the virtual links, but we do encourage families that if they know their child will be unable to attend virtually, to please contact their school and excuse their absence for the day. At this point, I'm open to more questions, please. I saw.
Okay, this is just kind of a what you've presented is just kind of like in case we need them.
Absolutely.
You all are not planning on a continuous e-learning for our students.
No, ma'am. So if there was a significant forecast for very, very cold, negative degree temperatures, or if we were going to have a large snowstorm, something like that, it's like a snow day used to be, it would only be in the event of an inclement weather day, and typically we don't do those for multiple days in a row unless there's obviously a really bad storm or really bad cold conditions. But it is not a plan that we have that we're planning on taking extended leave. It's only in the event of an inclement weather situation.
And could you explain to me what is the difference and why a e-learning day versus a snow day?
Sure. So e-learning provides the opportunity for students to still have access to instruction, to still have consistent lessons, and to not extend the school year. So if we do end up taking a snow day, we do have to add days onto the end of our school year, which we have built into our calendar. However, when we are trying to coordinate and make sure that we can squeeze summer school in and all those different things, adding days into the summer extends our opportunity to add our summer school calendar and take advantage of the full month of June for summer school. And so really it's just an opportunity for us to utilize e-learning in lieu of having to extend our school year by a day or two, depending on the number of days we take off for a snow day. But the district and superintendent could still determine that they decide to do a snow day or an e-learning day. It's at the decision at the superintendent at that point.
Ms. Lindsay.
I have 5 questions. One is for board president. Just confirming, because we opened a hearing, we do have audience members
Yes,
that can
we do.
also answer.
We
Okay,
will-
great. Just
This
providing
is
that
a public hearing,
clarification.
so public will be invited to participate, ask questions or comment.
Thank you. So my 4 questions tied to the presentation itself is that I heard a lot of conversations among staff on the prior experiences. I'm wondering how many parents you've asked about their experience, and the reason I'm asking is because as a parent, during the 2 hours of independent work, that to me was not very beneficial for my child.
Okay.
If I'm thinking about it, to me it would make more sense to say, during this period of time, we're going to take a 30-minute piece for you to do independent work, and let's come back and talk about that.
Okay.
That mirrors more of what a classroom looks like
Sure.
than 2 hours at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because that just seems like, okay, great. It's technically 5
Yeah.
hours of school, but it's 2 where we're not confirming really that they're
Sure.
doing
And-
what they're supposed to be doing. Go
And so
ahead.
to clarify the schedule, back when we had COVID closures, and we were first grappling with how to implement e-learning or remote learning, we did have schedules that looked as though you're describing, where we had chunks of time with the teacher and then more chunks of time where the students were doing independent work or independent practice activities. The structure that was presented as a part of the presentation tonight, it is definitely more structured, where there are checkpoints every class period or every hour with the teacher, where there may be time for some independent practice, but during that time, the teacher stays on that Google Meets link so that the teacher can be present for, I forgot how to do this, can you provide me some examples? And so although that was the schedule during our initial remote learning during COVID, the schedules that we will be following for e-learning do not have the longer chunks of time where the students would be independent.
On the sample schedule, you had
Yeah.
2 hours of them being independent.
Okay,
So
I will-
that's not lining up
Okay.
with
I will-
what you're saying. So that's a takeaway. With the communicating, it said via text, all of the different methods we communicate with families, are we adjusting, since we're changing it to e-learning, are we adjusting the timing in which we are advising whether it's going to be an e-learning day or an in-person day? Because families can't receive this message at 5 a.m. in the morning to
Correct.
say, your kid now has to stay home.
Yeah, no, we received a lot of feedback this past winter when we made a later decision on that. And so that was something that the team definitely brought back the parent feedback and reflected on the timing of our notification. And that's something that we will definitely make sure that when we, as early as possible, that we know there could potentially be, making that decision as quickly as possible so those notifications can go out.
And then my last 2 questions, it said that there would be some training for the students on what the e-learning day looks like. is that going to be having mock e-learning days where, so what does that look like? How are we training our students?
Sure,
How
so-
much time are we taking away from instruction to show them how to
Sure,
do
that's,
this?
our curriculum is so tight, we want to make sure that we're focusing on our curriculum, not necessarily spending a whole afternoon practicing, but really just making sure students know how to log on to their different Clever badges, that they know how to access the different platforms through their Clever badge, and making sure that they know how to join their Google Classroom link. So it's just, it shouldn't take nearly, an hour, 2 hours, a half day by any means. It should be, if we have to have e-learning because it's November now, we're starting to have some bad weather, let's all practice logging into our Google Classroom. This is the link you go to. I'll be here virtually. And so it should not be, more than maybe 20 minutes at most to make sure that students know where their Clever badge is, which they use all the time anyway, and where their Google Classroom Meets link is.
I'm going to recommend looping the parents in on that, especially for our youngers, because they need to know how to do it. Because I didn't expect my kindergartner back
remember
during
how.
COVID to do it herself.
Understood.
The last question I had was, if the students are not going to be able to attend the e-learning day, you said they should call the school to excuse their absence. Under what reason would we excuse their absence instead of it being an unexcused absence?
So if they're unable to attend and participate in that particular day, I will double check our different attendance drop downs to figure out what would be the best code for that. I don't want to offer the name of that right this second and mislead parents or schools. So I can circle back with you on that question.
But it's going to be 100% excused.
Yep.
You're not going, okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Ms. Fabian?
So I too have 4 questions. So one of them, we're talking about for snow days. Would this be able to be used in an emergency day where we've had to close a particular school because there's a water main break or something like that? So this is, for clarity, specifically only for weather.
Correct. This is correct.
That's number one. Number 2 is, what if the teacher can't connect and get on? They're having internet issues. Is there a plan surrounding that? Will an administrator, get on and teach the class? Like, do we have a plan for that? Because we have plans for if the kids can't connect.
Sure.
But what if the staff member, the teacher can't connect?
Thank you for the question. Dr. Andrews and Ms. Amy, our area superintendents, collaborate a lot with our principals, of course. And so as we're planning out getting all the links and all of the information set up from the principal, we'll definitely make sure that they have a plan A, B, and C. We do have ancillary staff such as instructional coaches, instructional support teachers, our resource teachers, and so assistant principals and the like. And so making sure that we have some backup plans in place for teacher concerns, we can definitely work towards that.
And then following that as well, so your paraprofessionals, and specifically the ones that work with IEPs, then will also have assignments to be able to check in and work directly one-on-one with those
All of
minutes.
our paraprofessionals have Chromebooks assigned, which can access Google Classroom Meets links, and so they would be able to push into classrooms and support the same students and support their students' needs during those lessons through their Chromebooks, yes.
I have a couple more, sorry. So COVID, we had a lot of hotspots available and families could call in to get a free hotspot. I don't know, Dr. Cuevas is here, but do we still have that process?
We do have, Dr. Cuevas is here, but we do have some hotspots
So
on
that-
hand, but not to the extent that we
Appreciate
did
the
during
During
COVID.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
so we
just
had we had an abundance of them because of what was going on. We do have some available, but not to the extent that we did. We have some.
So
we have a few. So for the students, we do not have hotspots available. Our contract expire with T-Mobile. The hotspot that we have available are hotspot basically for the district staff that they already have them assigned to. So if in the case that we need to provide internet to the students, unfortunately, we will need
don't
to
have that
enter into
capability.
a new contract with an internet service provider and also receive new hotspots as well.
And I think if we could also push out and have your FACE staff support getting those resources, there's a lot of programs that also help households obtain internet. So just to be prepared. And then lastly, having another plan. So as Ms. Lensing alluded to, when parents are advised late and these kids, especially your middle schoolers, have to be out there at 6 a.m. and they get a notification at 5:30, they're out there waiting for the bus. Is there a plan to set up a computer lab or something for those students who do show up during those snow days because they didn't get the memo, they didn't get the message, so that they can do that remote learning in the schools, because that is something that I have been asking about for a couple of years now, is having that plan for those students who do show up to the school.
So we'll have to share that question with the superintendent and the team to see what the feasibility is.
Yeah, right. And I've asked about that too, is having, even if it's like that, bus them to one location where you have staff at, but again, what are we doing with those students that do show up because they just, missed the memo and they're there now?
Okay, who is next? Mr. Riddle?
Just a quick clarification. The pre-K and kinder kids are going to get take-home stuff, so I presume their teachers are going to send it, even if it looks like there might be a possibility of canceling.
Sure. One of the things that we support our school leaders with is making, once we start having, the weather starts to look a little bit dicey, we do start having teachers have those packets of activities sent home, left on the refrigerator, left in a special spot in their home, so they know that in the event it's
Just
already
in
at
case.
home.
Right. And then my last question would be, do we have the secretaries at school necessarily? Because it says if the parent has difficulty doing virtual, they're supposed to call in attendance.
Right.
Will there be anybody there to answer
Sure.
the phone?
So we have our secretaries do not come into the schools the same way that they're part of the collective bargaining agreement for WIPs, and so whenever we have an e-learning day, they also have that. But we have been able to work with IT to have calls forwarded. Their voicemail goes right to their computer, and they're able to return phone calls.
Okay, so they can actually call, even though the secretary's not there, and leave a message.
Correct. They get their voicemails right to their email.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Ramirez?
I know that we did a lot of work during COVID to have like handbooks and everything for the parents so they know, because e-learning is not successful unless we communicate completely with parents, much more than just letting them know ahead, as much ahead of time warning as we can. We need to give our entire community enough know-how right now. So I'm hoping that all those handbooks that were created during COVID with this link, that link, have all been updated as part of this plan.
There are some of our parent university plans for the later fall, when it starts to be closer to this particular kind of weather, will be to do some parent universities, which will video record and make sure that if they don't attend one of our live sessions, that the principals and assistant principals will have that exact same recording that they can share with their own families, and any school level events that they have, they can replicate that same information. And so we do have that as part of our parent university training coming up.
Sorry,
Thank
only
you.
because it's tied to that.
Sure, please.
Hopefully with the communication around the parent universities, that's going in paper form, and the text message and the emails, like we're blasting it in all
Absolutely.
the routes.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Great.
we have QR codes, we have paper copies, brochures, flyers,
Great.
emails, newsletter links, all sorts of ways of working towards that information.
I'm going to throw this open to anybody from the public who wants to speak. Ms. Granda has had her hand up. Do we have a microphone for her and translator?
Okay. Mi preocupación es cuando hay climas extremos, nosotros como padres siempre miramos todos los demás distritos que están cancelando clases y creemos que eso es muy importante y que esos distritos se preocupan por los padres, por los estudiantes y por los maestros.
Look, I'm going to translate. Something that worries me is during this extreme cold weather, we also look at other districts and we see what they're doing, so because we worry about the students.
Can I clarify? We look at other districts closing.
Right.
And because they're closing, it gives the impression that
We might.
they are concerned about the students and the staff and their safety.
Entonces, ¿qué podemos hacer para que este distrito haga lo mismo?
What can we do so that this district does the same?
Creo que hay algo muy importante que se debe tomar en cuenta. La comunidad hispana es una comunidad trabajadora.
I think you need to take into account that the Hispanic community is a very working community.
Y los padres se deben de preparar para poder saber con quién van a dejar a sus niños.
And the parents need to get ready and know who are they going to leave their kids with.
Porque si están cancelando a las 5 de la mañana, 5:30 de la mañana, 6 de la mañana, a esa hora muchos padres ya se fueron a trabajar.
Because if you're canceling at 5:30 or 6 in the morning, a lot of these parents are already at work.
Y esa es la preocupación realmente de muchos padres.
And that's what we worry the most, a lot of the parents.
Okay.
No, we appreciate the feedback. and
Gracias.
We genuinely appreciate the feedback, Ms. Granda. I will say on behalf of me anyway, whatever I can do to make our commitment and communication stronger related to this, I will definitely do what I can to make sure that we can make those decisions in a timely opportunity as possible so that we can make sure that everyone is safe, sound, and prepared.
Is there anybody else here who would like to comment or who has any questions? Ms. Hannah.
Will the students be getting their instruction from what they have already been learning
Yes.
in the classroom? It's not going to deviate from that.
You know, one of the wonderful things about the new adoptions of curriculum that the board has approved is that all of I want to speak on Ms. Rice de Los Anjos' behalf and Dr. Ambrosio and Dr. Bublitz's behalf from our teaching and learning team. So many of our curriculums now, the student materials and the teacher materials, not only do they have print materials for students to consume within the classroom, but those same materials exist online. And so we're very grateful to our curriculum vendors and for the vote of the Board of Education to support those new adoptions, because we will be able to give the students the same learning opportunities and not try to change the pacing, change the curriculum, change the pace of what they're learning. It will be able to be continued.
And just kind of a side comment, I certainly hope that during COVID that we devised a manual that we can always go back to, and when we're not here, none of us are here, that the people coming after us will have that manual for any kind of catastrophic event in our city, because that was one of the things in terms of the students' curriculum that we kind of dropped the ball on, that we did not give our students, particularly in high school, the classes that they needed really to graduate.
Thank you.
So, yes, to the first point, we do have it all memorialized. And part of that is we adapted part of the remote learning plan into the e-learning plan. Again, they're two different things, but yes, it was a huge learning curve, and we do have all of that information memorialized. To the second point, it was a learning curve for all of us, and so as that year progressed, we adapted, we modified, we adjusted in order to serve the students better. Was it the same as being in class? It certainly was not. Was it better at the end or towards the end than it was at the beginning? Most definitely. But it was a work on progress and in progress throughout. And we did progress monitor. We made adjustments, and we, most importantly, we did seek out feedback from stakeholders, teachers, paraprofessionals, so we could make it better. So yeah, thank you for that point. That's an excellent point, that we shouldn't just leave that learning to the side, but make sure that it's memorialized and incorporated into what we're doing. The other piece is that most curricula is online now, which is really helpful. And there are tutorials for parents, and it's really much easier than it was even 4 or 5 years ago. It just makes it a lot easier.
Right.
Yeah. So, and I think that's one of the positive things that came out of that. Thank you.
Ms. Fabian.
And then just kind of thinking on what, Ms. Granda said, and seeing Castellanos earlier, is knowing that our parents will leave or can potentially leave their children in community daycares, places like Boys and Girls Club. We should also be reaching out to those big organizations like the Waukegan Park District, et cetera, who take care of our children before and after school, so that they also know that if they have to hold those
Adjust,
kids
yeah.
for that day, that they are also equipped and understand how e-learning works so that it's not a wasted opportunity for our students.
Thank you for the point. That's an excellent opportunity for us to collaborate with our community partners. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions?
And make sure that we also touch on the daycare centers
Okay.
because
They're going to go there.
during COVID,
Yeah.
I got a number of calls for hotspots because the daycare center
Didn't have-
didn't have the hotspots, and therefore they had the students,
Mhm.
but they didn't have any way
Okay.
to connect
Okay.
the internet.
Sure. Thank you for the feedback.
We can look into that too. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the board? Any other comments or questions from the community? Okay, then I would like to ask for a motion to close the hearing on the WPS 60 e-learning plan.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Riddle to close the hearing, second
Second.
by Ms. Fabian. Any further discussion on the motion? Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. Ramirez,
Yes.
Mr. Riddle,
Yes.
Mrs. McBride,
Yes.
Ms. Hannah, Ms. Lenzing,
Yes.
Ms. Fabian,
Yes.
President Rodriguez.
Yes, motion carries. Hearing is closed. Okay, moving on, item 5, discussion items. I see none. Item 6, information items for possible board action.
Sure, I'll just go over the list, and of course, at any point, if any board member would like to ask any clarifying questions, we do have members of our team here tonight to go over any pertinent information you would like to discuss.
Thank you.
Letter A is the renewal of file waive contract. Letter B, renewal of incident IQ contract.
How is that being used?
Dr. Cuevas, would you like to please clarify? Thank you.
Oh, this is a technology thing, not a instructional thing?
The help desk tickets, is that what that is?
Yeah, Ms. Anna, this is the help desk ticket that teachers and staff use to request technical support.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Item C, purchase of 600 Dell Chromebooks for a one-to-one student program. Item D, renewal of Infinite Campus. Item E, renewal of Power School. Power School has multiple parts of it. The particular renewal that we are asking for this item is for the WPS60.org website and for School Messenger.
Sorry, I do have some questions on this one. So it's the school messenger component of it. And the reason I'm asking this is because we have a multitude of ways or platforms or apps, whichever applies, to communicate with our parents, which I love communicating with our parents, right? But we use School Messenger, and officially we use Remind, and then we also have some Class Dojo thrown in there as well. As a parent, my preference,
Teachers choose.
yeah, the teachers choose those. But as a parent, Class Dojo's to me the better one. But that's a administration decision. It's not a board decision. So help me understand if we have the Remind, which is the district sanctioned or designated app, why we also need School Messenger.
Yep. Very good question. So with Remind,
I appreciate that, Dr.
with Remind, basically this will also protect the phone number and privacy for the teachers when they're communicating, and also there's a history log there that in the case that we need to use that for future reference, so we'll have all that documented. Okay. Class Dojo, if there's any teachers using that, that's a violation of the district policy. We do not have agreement with Class Dojo. We're not supposed to be using Class Dojo, so I will investigate into that area. And then with School Messenger, basically that's a tool that comes with the website that we also take advantage.
So can I help clarify? Because I think I know what you're asking. Why do we need both and not just use School Messenger? With Remind, Infinite Campus, like it loads
It's
all the
synchronized.
rosters of the students. So like if I'm a teacher of 6th grade social science, I can send a message directly just to my students versus like the School Messenger does the district-wide and not everybody has access to that. And when I send it to you from my mind, it'll give me, you'll see a different phone
Yeah.
number than my actual
Correct.
personal
Right.
phone
Yeah, there's the
number.
mix. Yeah.
Where the school messenger is like the
It's mass. It's mass
district-wide stuff.
communication.
And they don't, and that one isn't given to, like, each teacher can use it for their roster of their children.
Okay,
Of their
so,
students.
so now I'm understanding that when I get the birth 0 to 3 program, when I get the
It's registration time.
the registration time,
Yeah.
those are all through School Messenger. And we can't replicate that for our teachers, is what you're saying,
Yes,
for our
yeah.
teachers to use for their classes.
That's correct. And there, it depends on the
'Cause
tools
the
that we want to
reminder's
use. So
two-way.
one basically will provide you some functionality, but the other one will not provide you that functionality.
Okay.
Because school messenger isn't two-way either. So that's the
Got it. It's
disconnect
just,
there.
That's the
got it.
Just I also know that one is a lot more user-friendly. School Messenger, even though we're saying that we can't do that, yes, we can. It just takes a lot more steps in order to be able to do what the Class Dojo. It's just a lot more steps to do it. I've used both of them.
I agree.
School Messenger also would remind, a lot of times teachers are the way, you have to accept that. But my question is, so it comes with the web, there's no way of separating that?
No,
Okay.
basically.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cuevas.
Item F, Spyglass Technology Expense Management Audits.
It's kind of a unique one because they only get paid if they save money. So that's kind of neat. We don't have to pay them.
Well, that's
Right?
what I was going to ask.
That's
Do
correct.
we
And
know-
also we have the sales reps here in the audience.
Oh,
Basically.
okay.
So it's basically,
They get 40%.
they will be doing an audit, and if the company finds that we receive any overcharges, based on those savings, that's when they will be charging back to the school. But if they don't find any miscalculations or there's no errors in the billing, basically they would not receive a payment for
Yeah,
that.
looking at their website, it looks like they do a really good job, and they do find, and he's still here and working, so they find some mistakes and correct them, and they get their money out of that and share it with us. Yeah, very cool. Thank you.
Ms.
I like
Fabian.
that.
I'm all for it, especially since we don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
But my question is, we had at one point started that process, I want to say like 5 years back, of looking to see what we have and eliminate. And did we ever get a report on that? And so, or is this a continuation of that never ended? So they're going to pick up where we left off?
I don't know when you want to.
Right, we were, and I agree with Miss Fabian, because we were supposed to be, getting information on all of the apps that we were using
So the
in the
Learn platform.
district.
Underutilized.
And we were supposed to get a report, but we never have gotten any kind of report on that.
So can I just speak to this really quickly, and then I'll let you both add to that. So we've intermittently provided information related to the elimination or the addition of programming based on the data that we found from the Learn platform, especially with our curricular items. We removed a number of items that were no longer useful. And we did not renew contracts with software companies where the usage was low. So we didn't do a full report like you're saying, but we did bring information associated with it. It was data that was attached to singular items. But we'd be more than happy to share
Because
that data with you.
Yeah,
we use it all the time internally to discuss those items, and then when we're preparing to come to the board meetings.
Right,
Do you wanna
and it
add?
would just be
Sure.
a little easier on the board members, where we wouldn't have to keep asking the questions about
No
about
problem.
something, and just bring it to us to let us see it.
Sure, we can do a mid-year and we can do an end of year.
Definitely, we can provide all the full reporting in a different meeting if it's necessary. But Ms. Hannah, the Learn platform and Spyglass are two completely separate
Yeah,
services.
I'm aware.
Ms. Lensing.
I think she was going to answer what happened
go ahead.
because I think she understands what my
Oh.
question was. We did have a comprehensive review at
Yes.
some point.
Go ahead, Ms. Polk.
We did start this process several years ago. We started conversations with them, but it kind of fell to the wayside. And then we were contacted again, and we pursued it. Dr. Cuevas, myself, with legal assistance in looking at the agreement. We've also looked at other school districts that are utilizing this process, and we thought it was advantageous to us to continue to pursue it. This is a little different than all of the agreements or all of the software that we're using. This is more about them looking at the pricing and, you know, the cost that we're paying, and to ensure that we're maximizing our savings. And so I don't know if you would like to hear a little bit from the vendors, since they're here from out of town, to kind of give you a little information about what this program is about.
I think that would be nice.
I think that's smart too, because not only just the travel, but other districts might be watching and might be wanting to use these services as well. And so I'll reserve my question until after they go over it.
Thank you. Thank you for having us too. My name is Mike Brown. I'm the head of sales at Spyglass, and have had the privilege to meet a number of times with Gwen and Dr. Cuevas. So Spyglass, I can just give you a little overview. Again, they mentioned we are focusing on technology services, but more around the telecommunications. So voice, internet, data, wireless billing, along with cloud services. And again, like they said, our job is to find as many savings opportunities for the district as we can. So whether that becomes recovery opportunities, where maybe they're dollars that have already been paid from the district incorrectly, we can actually get those dollars back for the district. And then we can also find elimination opportunities, services that aren't being used anymore. They're dormant, they're underutilized. We can find those, eliminate those from the district, so you're not continuing to pay those on a month-to-month basis. And then, like they said, the pricing. We'll look at all the pricing. We've got 16,000 clients nationwide, and a lot within school districts and cities and counties, public sector, that we can utilize that experience to make sure that all of the plans and the services and the features that go along with those services are in the best spot possible. So that's really us in a nutshell. And like I said, our goal is to find as much as we can, because we're only paid out of the savings that the school district actually wants us to implement and to put into place for them. So if we don't find anything, or the school decides they don't want us to implement anything, there's no fee.
I think this is a Dr. Cuevas question. Is this anything similar to Gaggle?
No. Very different.
Very different.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Gaggle's for students.
It's.
Yeah, I know.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes, they're complete different services. Gaggle is the system that we use to monitor all the students and staff communication. And basically, we keep a backup of all emails, documents, whatever is stored in Google Drive. That's what is Gaggle.
But he can make sure that we're utilizing Google to the maximum potential.
They're going to double check that we're paying the right price.
Yeah, exactly.
My comment is just more generalized. Thank you for providing the overview of the Spyglass. I think for me, getting 60% is better than getting 0%, right? And especially in these times where finances are such a huge component of our concerns and stressors and worries, and just taking up a lot of rent in our headspace. This is a good initiative to go down. I think for me, it's just making sure that when this board approves the suggested programs and apps and initiatives, that they are being utilized. Because we, from my understanding, have lost access to something that could have been really great had we utilized it. And so it's just making sure that we're keeping an eye on that to make sure staff is aware, staff is trained, students are aware, families are aware, et cetera. If we approve it, it's because it has a purpose and we want to make sure that we're using it. Otherwise, we wouldn't approve it.
More about the communication out, and I think we've said that several times, is having a communication plan for any of these apps, especially if they're to be utilized at home.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Just out of curiosity, you came from out of town. Where did you come from? Oh, you traveled. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, item G, renewal of cybersecurity services. Item F, renewal of Everway, which was formerly known as Read and Write. Item I, National Science Teachers Association National Conference, Minneapolis, Minnesota, November 12th through 15th, 2025. Item J, Fulcrum Educational Services Principal Development.
Now, what is that?
Area Superintendents Dr. Andrews and Mr. Zaney will come on up for that one.
And we got so many of these things floating around in the district, different leadership, development, principal, all of that. So why do we need another one?
Good evening, board. So Fulcrum is primarily focused on developing principles around our tier 1 instruction, around developing high functioning and high robust instructional leadership teams. And so when we looked at Fulcrum, we wanted to be able to provide principals with some really advanced strategies that will, in essence, lead to improved student outcomes. And so if you can look at the course of sequences, so we are really thinking about, like, what do principals need to put in place in their schools in order to see movement within our district data? And so when we're thinking about supporting our principals, we've partnered with Fulcrum to do that. Last year, myself and Dr. Manoni, we did provide a lot of support to principals around thinking about organizational structures and making sure that tier 1 instruction is strong, creating these robust teams. But as a support, we've worked with Fulcrum to curate a real tight, strong scope of learning for principals this year, and that we know that we'll be able to see some improved outcomes for students. And so that is really what the partnership is all about.
This is a Dr. Cesario question. We were doing this all along, talking about with our principals, and so why do we need another partnership, another $50,000 for another leadership and development agreement when we have had all these things? We've had these things before. It's like we're continuing to like we're spending, and we're in a very uncertain time, and we are spending continuously, and it appears to me, and I'd have to actually excuse me, go back in board docs to look at how many of these different partnerships and contracts that we've already had in the district. And so I'm just asking, why another one? And what are the principals saying? Do they need this? Do the principals need this? Because many of our principals have been here for a long time. And so what do they need? What is it that they don't know now that they haven't known already?
Those are very good questions. I'll try to address all of them. If I miss anything, just remind me. But I think one of the things that is really important is it's not about what they don't know. It's about continuing to develop as a professional. And so this piece is in-house. We're not sending anyone out. And it's really our focus over the last 3 years has really been very tight around Tier 1 implementation and developing very strong and robust instructional leadership teams. And so the focus here is going to be consistent across all of our principles. And there's a scope and sequence here where everyone is getting the same content. And then there's also an opportunity for coaching support as well. And that has been something that our principals, and I know Amanda can speak to this, Ms. Maluski can speak to this as well. In terms of the other partnerships we've had, we've not gone to scale in terms of doing something for all the principals, other than we've had people come in, but we haven't had a partnership. Most of the professional development was conducted by the ASAP team and IT. Also our area superintendents, that's the bulk of it has been done that way. We've had some administrative academies, we've sent folks out, but really the focus is on continuing the education and continuing to provide that support and being responsive to some of the needs that were described. We do, after each session, we do solicit input from them and ask through a survey at the conclusion of each of our professional development sessions what worked, what didn't. And so I think when this was presented to ASAP by the area superintendents, that was one of the pieces that we focused on, was that it aligned to the work that we were doing as a district with our Leadership for All initiative. And again, the focus on implementing Tier 1, our Tier 1 programming with fidelity, and also developing our instructional leadership teams. So that really aligns to that.
We've been doing that for the last 5 years.
We will.
We've
And
been
we'll
doing it for the
continue.
last 5 years. And the thing is, we have yet to hear what the principals are in need of. What do they need? I mean, what other learning and development? I know learning is forever. I'll never say, but what do the principals, with all due respect, many of the principals have been here double time from our area superintendent. And so what is it that they are lacking? And it would be really nice to be able to hear from them before we are constantly being asked to spend the money.
I just want to clarify one thing. No one here is saying that our principals are lacking anything. Again, this is about continuing to develop as continuous growth. And as you mentioned, learning is lifelong. And so we're aligning this to the work that we're currently doing. If there's additional information that you want, some of the information regarding what the principals want, then we can certainly share some of that information. But this it's aligned to the work that we're doing. And
is it in the budget? Was this put in our budget?
Yes, ma'am, it was. It was put in, this is in the area the leadership team's budget. And they've pulled the money from where they usually would spend the money to really utilize this. And there was a discussion about where, if we want this, if you believe that there's a strong desire to have this, then where are we going to take money from in order to do this? So we've managed to, their budgets are smaller than they had been, And they did sacrifice some other pieces to make sure this happened. I don't want to put words in your mouths, but you both felt that this was very important, discussed it with the ASAP team, and I'll let you speak to that point.
I mean, we
but-
did, and I know that there's 2 other questions, but I want you to know that all last year, throughout the assistant principals meetings, I mean, we did survey them, and the principals and assistant principals, there was a survey that was given every single meeting. So, and after every single assistant principals meeting and principals meeting, we looked at the data. And they do share that they would like to have support around instructional. I had a principal tell me this week, I really want you to do walks with me to help me strengthen my knowledge around, you know, being able to put systems in place to make sure that teachers are actually looking at the data properly. And this will help support what principals need. And so my year-long observations and my data and talking to my principals and seeing what they have given and, you know, how we've analyzed, I mean, this is really the conclusion that we've come to, that we need to support them around instructional leadership strategies to make sure that they have these systems in place within the schools.
Ms. Fabian.
So I just want to add, so for any principal, anybody who has a professional educator's license, they are required to do professional development hours to recertify, because it is best practice to continue to educate yourself. There's always new research out, there's always new data out, and the students that we get are always different because there's new technology, there's new things that we contend with. When I started day 1 of teaching, it was nowhere near how I taught year 10 of teaching, because just things change and the way that we teach changes. And yes, we've had principals here that have been here for a decade or more, and they can tell you what they had a decade ago is nowhere near what they have today, especially with the technology and all of, I'll say just even with COVID, right? The stressors that our kids had. So the point being that no principal, no teacher, no superintendent should ever stop growing or professional growth. Once you become stagnant, you become irrelevant, and you're not doing a service to our students. And I will say that fully confident. This is why, you know, they are all required to have professional development hours in order to be able to recertify. So I am always going to be a proponent of professional development, especially of those in leadership, because they're the ones manning the ship and ensuring that our teachers are, you know, doing and understanding and setting the tone and the culture and climate of that school. What I want to know is, it says just for principals. I want to ensure that we also have bench warmers attending these, because obviously our principals may want to grow and go to, you know, go to leadership in the district or to another district, and we need to have a plan. So for the consistency, if we are investing in all of this professional development, that we have our bench warmers ready, right? So that they can come in and do the work if somebody does leave.
So we do have a plan to support assistant principals as well throughout this. So principals will initially get this learning, and then we will also provide, Lori and I will provide that same learning for assistant principals when their meetings happen bi-monthly.
I just also wanted to add, being new to the district and just having come out of the seat after being in the role for the last 10 years, as I entered the district and met with all of the pre-K principals, I learned that there is a high level of dedication to the district, a high level of commitment to their students, to their community, and a deep desire to grow professionally. Principals are asking for ongoing professional development, and they are asking for more personalized, individualized coaching. So that I heard loud and clear from the 16 principals that I met with. And I was so impressed, and my heart was warm just to know that there is that commitment and that desire to grow. The Wallace Foundation does a lot of research on principals and retaining principals and creating succession plans for those bench warmers. And the work that we are trying to do is to continue supporting principals, because high-performing principals will lead students to achieve at high levels. And we know that research says, as we are building our bench, that we are also going to have high-quality principals then entering. And I will say that Waukegan has done a phenomenal job of moving people from assistant principal role into principal. And that plan, it seems like there's a lot of leadership development already happening, but this work with Fulcrum will allow both Dr. Andrews and I to more individualize and differentiate the support that we would like to provide to principals and that they're asking.
Is here from Fulcrum as well. He can also speak if you would like that. Yes.
I'm going to be very honest. I apologize. I don't recall your name because we haven't gotten to see you a lot. So can you repeat it again for me?
Yeah, Lori Zamey.
Zamey.
Yeah.
Okay. Apologies for not knowing that ahead of time. So I appreciate the last piece that you said, because my pushback is that we're supposed to be providing the development, right? And so in your example, the principal asked you specifically, Dr. Andrews, can you help me do this? So in my mind, that's your role as the area soups, is to help your principals do that. I think the missing puzzle piece is that this will do some lifting so that you can go in and tailor and specialize and differentiate per building, right? That, to me, kind of pushes it one way, but I just want it to, I just want it to be clear, right? Because the intent of sending our administrators out for professional development is for it to come back and trickle down to others, not to just keep it in a silo, right? And so I think that's what, I'm not going to say all board members because I don't know everybody, but some of us are feeling like, is that trickle down happening? Because when we're contracting out, it feels like, I'm not saying it is, it feels like it's not. And so that's kind of like the push and pull of the situation that we're having.
Yeah, and I appreciate that because that's something that both of us have talked a lot about and we spoke about that with them, is that we want to make sure that every single session is in fact hitting the marks of what the district priorities are and areas of growth. And so Fulcrum has committed to meeting with us and seeking feedback from principals to make sure that the learning truly is aligned to the needs that they have. And that's something that both Dr. and I are very much.
And then I think just for clarity purposes, because we're talking about professional development, yes, we all understand that there's a certain number of hours everybody has to do to make sure they keep their licensure, et cetera, et cetera. How many hours of professional development will principals gain with this programming toward their certifications?
So it's 2 hours every session, and there's 8 sessions, so that's about 16 hours.
So every principal, we are paying $50,000 for each principal to get 16 hours of their, okay.
And they also have to do academy.
And
For their
they
PDs.
trickle down to the assistant
And principals.
It's a $50,000, am I wrong on the number?
No, it's 50,000.
It's a
yes.
$50,000
Contract.
contract for 23 principals.
And bench warmers.
Yes.
And and the bench warmers.
The bench warmers, we will provide
Yeah,
that
it's the
professional learning
yeah,
from.
bench
Yes.
warmers. They're not getting it. I thought it was just them. So, right? So you look at that and you take 50 divided by 23, right? And then they get 16 out of it. And
the
yes,
bench warmers.
Ms. Amy, your added commentary makes me feel better about this decision.
Right.
So thank you for that comment. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Item K, renewal of teacher vacancy grant. Item L, JROTC field trip request.
I'm gonna turn my mic off. I have some concerns on this one.
Okay.
And it's primarily for the safety of our students, right? Looking at the national climate, looking at the federal administration's approach to many of our community members, and even just looking locally about how many of our community members feel comfortable going out doing their daily business. This is a field trip in Texas, which does have an increased ICE presence and ICE initiatives. So my concern is the safety of our kids. And so that's why I have huge reservations sending them on this trip. Not that our kids don't deserve opportunities, but there's a lot of concern with this choice.
Thank you. Sergeant Nasser is here tonight to support any
Yeah, they don't
questions
get
or?
to
They don't get to
but-
choose. That's-
Yeah.
Thank you, Sergeant
That's the
Nasser.
issue.
All right, good evening, good evening. Thank you all very much.
right.
Definitely appreciate, your time and consideration with this. No, trust me, and I do get it, and I understand, even last year when we went to nationals, and then obviously with the current administration we have, I know my team, So like even last year, I had a young man I knew because of issues. I said, hey, I talked to his lawyer, and so he didn't go to nationals with us, because even his lawyer told me, with the progress we've made, if we even got pulled over for a broken tail light or failure to stop at a sign, we got pulled over and they decide they want to check a bus full of kids. I totally get it. So I just, I had to make the call, because obviously, I mean, like you all, the safety of my team, is first the top priority of mine. And, that always comes before anything and everything else, just making sure they're safe. Their families are, well aware of everything. I have team meetings, I have parent meetings once a month. I told when I came back from Texas, and I know I'll be talking to y'all on August 26th, so thank you for that time there. But, I have parent meetings. They're well aware of what's going on as well. And I would never do anything to jeopardize their safety or even cause families back here any kind of concern. So even with this trip, if you all do approve us to be able to go, I will, of course, make sure, kids, are able to go, and there would be no kind of like little issues arise if we were to get, stopped for whatever reason or anything. When we did fly to Texas, and you all, were able to let us go to that, we had no issues getting through the airport, getting there to Texas and back. Everyone there was a resident, okay, and legally here and able to go. So, like I mentioned last year, the one student wasn't able to. I didn't want to jeopardize his chances of getting caught up with anything, and I talked with his aunt, So I always keep the family well aware of everything and our intentions and then brief them on what we're going to be doing with our schedule if it's possible.
Sergeant Nasser, I'm going to respectfully push back because there have been American citizens, there have been documented migrants, there have been Native American,
Resident.
indigenous people mistaken for, right? And like they're ultimately the main Americans, right? And they're being pulled and they're not asked for documentation first. So that's
Even
my
if they are,
concern.
it's
So we can
discredited.
control so much.
True.
But I don't want to give the guys that we have any control going into that scenario. We
Right.
don't. We could do what we can, but we don't have control.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. Not everything, is able to be controlled. So, of course, there is, some I guess, some risk in going there in that aspect with that. Go ahead, Ms. Hannah.
No, I'm just gonna say, I understand what's being said, but I'm not in favor of taking opportunities away from our students that our students have been having throughout the different years, and because of I can't say what I want to say, but because of this stuff that's going on, I understand the risk, and your parents are aware of that, and you have students that are enthusiastic, that they want to go, and and I'm sure it's competition, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
and and we Waukegan usually does well in our competition, and so look, I'm all for funding this with board money and sending our students, and we cannot just stop living because we got stuff going on by other people that I'm done.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, as the
I don't get to
coach,
choose.
I mean, I do understand, everything that's going on in the world today. I've served my country, obviously, for quite, for a few decades before being hired on here in the district and being able, be fortunate enough to be here. But as a coach, the kids, they were. And I mean, the reason I am trying to push for this, okay, when we went to Texas, and you'll see some of them on the 26th, and I get it, kids, like, oh yeah, the limelight or whatever. But yeah, they were just really super excited when we got back, and honestly, they wanted to go to Texas before, but I was like, I don't know, it's a long trip. But after doing what we did at that camp that you all approved for us to go, and just the excitement, just trying to really expose them to other opportunities, other sites, other parts of the states that maybe they won't see in a while. And then also, like she mentioned, with the competition, it is a competition against, some tougher competition that we really don't have around here. So it's also kind of a test for us to kind of learn and grow as a team, as young men and women, kind of experience them, give them that experience, just to see other schools as well. They made some connections there with a lot of kids from Texas and New York and Boston, from all over the United States. Right. So I just thought it'd be a really great opportunity just to even give them a little taste of this and take them. And like I mentioned, the parents now, and if the parents were to come to me and be like, yeah, I don't know, and I still get it, but that's also why I really just try and be as open as possible with my parents, about everything, as far as our schedule and just what we'd like to do. Go ahead, Ms. Fabian.
I'm going to take a deep breath on this one only because it does hit home for me.
Yeah.
To say that we can't stop living, that's what we're trying to do, is keep our kids alive.
Absolutely.
I cannot, and no one can, choose what they look like and what other people perceive of you.
That's right.
And so I think that's what Mrs. Lenzing's point is. Regardless of citizenship status, that is not stamped or tattooed on my forehead. So whatever is perceived, and we've seen that many times in the news with this administration, that even when you show documentation, you may be detained. And if you're detained with the notion that you're not a citizen, you don't have citizenship rights, so you don't get to make that call and do all the things you need to do to prove that you are who you say you are and be here legally. So yes, I understand that we can't stop living, but we also need to live cautiously, especially under these times. I have always supported you, and you understand I've always loved what JROTC has done, it's even for my family, and I would never want to take any opportunity away from any student. My issue is, once we start going into these parameters of going to Texas and we know what's going on, we're also having and telling our families that they would have to notify you, right? Or someone to say, we can't go and these are the reasons. Not all of our families feel comfortable, especially given this climate, knowing that ICE has been even here in Waukegan. Right. They're not always going to feel comfortable to say, hey, my kid can't go because they're not a resident. Some of these kids don't even know that they're not citizens until they're asking for their driver's license or to go to work and where's my social security card. Some of these children don't even know that they're not citizens because they've been here for all of their given memory. So again, you may not always have a parent that feels comfortable saying, hey, my kid can't go to this trip. I don't know what the happy medium is other than to really, really think about, and I don't know if there's any other, if there's a different opportunity somewhere else where they can go and compete that we can look at, or again, we're gonna have to really let our parents know clearly, yes, we will ultimately do everything we can to make sure that your child is safe, but we cannot guarantee that safety. Nobody can. I can't even guarantee it for my own children. So, like literally, I had to go get their passport cards.
Yeah.
Right.
They may need
right.
to
Like I have them with passport cards, and I've never done that before. My point being that if you're going to do this trip, you're going to have to be fully transparent that these are the risks that they run, regardless of citizenship status, and have a plan with your team should anything happen.
Right. I mean, to answer that then, I mean, I really would like to think, I mean, of course, like you said, some parents, they might, but I really do. I have really great rapport with my parents, and I mean, I've had some, whether their child has therapy, if their child has this going on or that going on, or some, emotional issue, whatever. So, I mean, my parents, I always make myself approachable, and I'd like to think that's one of my strong points, My parents and all the team members, they know they can come to me about anything. So I know if they do have any kind of issues and concerns, rightfully so, that yeah, they would definitely come up to me and be like, well, hey, son, because I told them that I plan on us trying to go to Texas almost like the week after we got back. We had a parent meeting. So roughly a couple weeks, end of July maybe, I told them, hey, this is my plan, hopefully to get us there. You know, and, you know, at that point, yeah, nobody has raised any concerns, but I know if they did have, they would definitely hit me up and be like, well, hey, Sergeant Nasser, have you thought about this, and this, and A, B, and C?
But what I'm saying is, even if they don't bring up the concern,
Yeah.
you need to bring up that concern,
yeah.
or somebody on your team has to be proactive, because some of these parents are really busy and are not always paying attention to what's
Yeah.
going on in national news.
Yeah, and I plan on having, well, I'm sorry, yeah, I plan on having a parent meeting this coming week as well, because I knew we were going to be talking about this today, and just to address that, you know, any kind of concerns, and just double check to see if there were any.
So-
You know, of course, I take chaperones. I'm sorry, Dr. Sutherland.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll have 4 or 5 chaperones with me, as well as my 2 assistant coaches. So there's going to be at least 6 or 7 adults. You know, yeah, obviously, like you said, I can't really stop everything. But my team knows too, you know, I'll do anything and everything for them, you know, to either protect them, make sure they're okay, you know, no matter what that takes. You know, I would never let anybody lay a hand on any one of my students, you know, or my team members. So I'll definitely do my best, you know, to make sure that they're safe in that aspect, with enough chaperones and stuff, things like that.
Thank you for that. And I think one of the things that Ms. Fabian brought up is making sure that those warnings or those, just the awareness for the parents is put in writing.
Yeah.
So that it's clear to them. Ultimately, it's, you know, it's the parents. It's at the parents' discretion, right? But we do want to make sure that they're informed. So to the point that you're making, we want to make sure that they're informed. I appreciate the fact that you have multiple meetings, but I think it is important to, just like you did with the young man that you, or one of the cadets that you had
Right.
described, just kind of weigh out what some of the risks are, whether you are a citizen or whatever the status is, just to be very clear. So letting them know, you know, verbally, but then also putting it in writing. And then again, just making sure that the parents have that option, but making sure that they're aware of everything that's at play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, even when we went to nationals last year, I did have a parent that was even a little bit concerned, but, you know, and we talked. And so then at the end of it, though, she said, all right, my children can go. You know, and everything went fine even when we went to nationals there in Daytona. So, yeah, but by all means, you know, I'll definitely be taking all those precautions and measurements. I know.
Mr. Ramirez has
said-
something to say.
Unfortunately, you know, this is the time and date where we're at. And I agree with Ms. Hannah. We do not need to stop events. But they do need to be teachable moments.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
This is the world we are traveling in, and it's very real, because I'm afraid to travel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid that I will be detained. So the fear is real, but education and communication is what's going to stop them.
Right.
We need to make sure that the people who are going as chaperones understand what Fourth Amendment rights are. Our students are also educated on what our Fourth Amendment rights are.
Right.
This is a moment where we can teach staff, community, and students how to respond appropriately during these situations, because the truth of the matter, these next 4 years are not going to change. And our students need to learn how to travel in this environment. Our families need to learn how to travel in this environment. And it is important that we right now educate everyone who's going to be taking trips like this, because these aren't going to stop. Our children are not going to stop, and I also don't want to create the narrative that everyone that looks like me is illegal, even though we are being stopped. I get that 100%, but I will not live in fear of the fact that I will continue to push my children. The only thing that I ask, again, how everybody has reiterated here, we need to be clear with our parents about the danger of traveling, but we also have to educate our students and our staff who are traveling on the rights of our traveling.
All right. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, Mr. Ramirez. Anybody else? Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Item M, Robbie Lightfoot, professional development request. And our last item, letter N, Embrace IEP and Embrace DS contract renewals.
Mr. McBride, you had something you wanted to say?
Yeah, we'll kind of back up a little bit. Dr. Cuevas, this is for you. I think you shared with me and took me to the back Lincoln Center and showed me about cybersecurity and all the things that you were doing back there. And I thought it would just be good, not for me to know what's going on, and when we talk about safety with our kids and things that's going on, that's happening, that people are trying to get involved in our kids' life and get their social security numbers and things of that nature. I'd just like maybe you to expound on that a little bit, you know, if you don't mind.
There's a mic right next to you.
Yeah.
Sure. So basically, at Lincoln Center, we have a cybersecurity room that our network engineers, they monitor 24/7 through different applications, all the data that is coming in and out through the district. We're also monitoring for any hacking activities. We're also monitoring for any malicious activities that the district basically is receiving cyber attacks. It's real, it happens every day. We also monitor basically the firewall, all the devices that we have in the district for the teachers, for the students. And it's basically, the cybersecurity room is to keep the district safe from cyber attacks. We're not exempt, no one is, but we're basically doing our best to protect the students' data and the staff data.
So I think what was important to me is when you shared with me some of the things that, how we protect students while individuals are trying to get data on them.
Correct. And we do that basically 24/7, and it's a combination of multiple tools as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cuevas.
Those conclude our items for student achievement this evening, Mr.
Okay,
President.
Thank you very much. Next item is adjournment. Need a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Mr. Riddle.
Thank you.
Second by Ms.
Fabian.
Fabian. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned at 8:51.
You don't want Amanda?
Don't go away. We still have another meeting.
Right.
Okay.
How you doing?
I should have it added to the agenda, the next one. All right.
Yeah, that cybersecurity stuff is needed, isn't it? It really is. I'm trying to get your numbers. We all get jumped on their phone all the time, you know?
Every day.
Every day. They
I
wanna
got
hire
4 texts
me.
today.
I got one where we're ordering packages. And
Yeah, I got an Amazon return today, yeah.
order the August 12th, 2025 Operations Services Committee meeting. Can we have a roll call?
Miss Fabian?
Yeah.
Miss Lensing?
Yes.
Miss Hannah?
Yes.
Mr. McBride?
Yes.
Mr. Riddle?
Yes.
Ms. Ramirez? And President Rodriguez?
Here. Okay, all board members are present. Next item on the agenda, item 3, is approval of the meeting minutes, and these are the minutes for the June 10th, 2025 meeting.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by
Second.
Mr. Riddle. Is that a second by Mr. McBride?
Yes, second.
Second by Mr. McBride. Any comments, corrections, changes to the minutes? Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
Miss Lensing?
Yes.
Miss Hannah?
No,
No. It wasn't here.
he wasn't.
I don't know.
I have to put, what date
I'm
was it?
gonna pass.
I think you were not here.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass.
Mr. McBride?
Yes.
Mr. Riddle?
Yes.
Ms. Ramirez?
Yes.
And President Rodriguez?
Yes, motion carries, minutes are approved. Next, item 4, discussion items for possible board action. I see none. Item 5, information items for possible board action.
You know what, not for, we don't have old business or new business on our agendas anymore. Because
Not for-
I want to put some old business back on the board.
That's a business.
For a business meeting for the actual board meeting.
That's on a board meeting.
Okay, information item. Mr. Moten.
Thank you, Mr.
All yours.
Rodriguez. Thank you. Good evening, board members, staff, community. We have 5 information items here for you this evening. I'll highlight the items and then we'll take questions if you have them. Our first agenda item is our revision to our facility use manual. This is for classification 6 funeral request. We have brought this forward previously and we've taken your feedback. Thank you for that. You will note on the attachment, we have updated verbiage on a few pages throughout the document. Pages 3, which identifies the eligibility requirements for the classification 6. Page 8, which includes updated language regarding the facility fee waiver process in regards to the addition of classification 6 as well as steps it takes to bring that information to the Board of Education for approval. And then lastly, on page 24, which is the facility waiver request document itself, we included verbiage for classification 6, just to make it very clear the parameters and the requirement for that classification. Now, this isn't something that we've asked the board to approve in the past, but we're bringing it to your attention before we post it on the district website. One last time, just to make you aware. Are there any questions or comments on this item? All right, thank you. Our next agenda item is a facility rental waiver request for Juntos for the Viva La Independencia Parade 2025. We have attached all the necessary waiver requirement documents to the agenda item, as well as the approval from the City of Waukegan permit requirements. And we do have representatives here from the organization if there are any questions.
Not so much a question, just a statement, because Mr. Ramirez reminded me that weekend we will be out
Yeah.
conference.
Yep.
We won't be able to participate.
I was gonna make that comment. but
I
I'm
was,
glad you did
I
it.
didn't realize it till
We're
later. I
gonna,
was like,
the
oh,
CUBE conference, yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
But hopefully, because we'll be in Los Angeles, we'll be able to participate in that.
well, we'll bring a Waukegan flag with us.
Yeah, seriously,
It's a
like,
City of Park
we got you.
button or something.
So apologies.
Apologies for that, but
All right, thank you. We will be bringing that forward at our next scheduled board meeting. Item C is the USI Insurance Services Insurance Broker of Record proposal. We have attached information to the agenda item here as well, and we have a representative here from USI. This is something that we brought forward to the board last year to start investigating on a 90-day trial period, to really be the broker of record for the district with Blue Cross Blue Shield, identify potential savings, and provide other services, which are outlined on page 2 and 3 of the attached proposal. Are there any questions or comments on this item?
Yes.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes, I have a comment or a question first. That it said on the information I read there that they validated last year $1 million plus or said 2 million plus for Waukegan last year. Is that validated? That meant they saved us $2 million in costs last year, right? Is that what it meant?
That is what that means, Mr. Riddle. Something that was very important to the district is there was no impact to the employees and what they saw through their Blue Cross Blue Shield plans. So this was like a high level 90-day overview of things that they identified. This would be a little more in depth to peel back the layers more on our program. We do have Mr. Odishu here who can speak more specifically to that if you'd like.
Maybe.
But that was a high level review we did last year.
Okay, the concern I have about this is that as I read it, I'd like to know what areas maybe they saw where they could save us that $2 million, or where they did save us. And then my concern, I guess, is that their normal fees are $20 to $25 per person per month per year, which would amount to about $660,000. But this first year they're giving us charging us only $4 a month, which is a whole lot less, $105,000 roughly per year. So I'm wondering, it says, and that's what you're looking at is in the medical area for health, pharmacy, and stop loss. Could you explain exactly how you can save us money working with Blue Cross Blue Shield? I can understand if you were going out to other insurance companies and saying, well, this company can give you a better rate, but it sounds like you're only working with the current company that we have, trying to save us in our medical costs. Could you elaborate a little bit how you're saving us that? And I understand we can terminate the contract in 1 year if we're not happy, but if we don't terminate it, we have to then readjust a fee schedule, which might go up to $20 or $25 a person, which is your normal schedule. So, I'm just curious how you might lock us into something, if we say, yeah, we're going to renew this after 1 year. Go ahead.
It's a legitimate question. Yeah, thank you for having me. My name's Sam Odishu. I lead the employee benefits practice for USI in the state of Illinois.
Right.
I also lead the nonprofit and education practice. So to answer your first question, last year we were brought in on a 90-day trial period.
Right.
We understand that Waukegan Public School District does not currently use a consultant or a broker, which is pretty rare in the public school space. And so we understood that based on your lack of working with a broker, we wanted to come in and say, hey, let us show you what we can do in the interim. So the number one area that we can save you money in is your pharmacy program. I don't know if you all know how many $1 million the district spends with Blue Cross Blue Shield on an annual basis. Last year, it was in excess of $26 million, making it either your second or third largest spend after you're paying your teachers and your faculty. So
$26 million we've spent for pharmacy costs for our
not
employees.
for pharmacy, for the entire medical program. 25% of that is the pharmacy spend.
Oh, okay.
So you have a lot of employees for sure, but 26 million, especially when effectively it can be an unmanaged program. We see healthcare costs and pharmacy costs rising exponentially, and so having somebody in there managing that. We have a full team of pharmacy consultants, medical underwriters that used to work for Blue Cross Blue Shield. USI is a large full-service brokerage, one of the largest in the country. We have a massive book with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois in the state and across the country, which gives us great leverage and great access to Blue Cross Blue Shield leadership. I've had numerous conversations with Ms. Polk, Moten, with Mr. Figueroa over the last 6 years, and I believe in this community. I run a 501c3 called Brothers United in North Chicago. I participate in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes program at North Chicago and Waukegan as well. So the reason for our reduced fee is because I know you haven't worked with a broker before. We want to show you what we can do. We are not going to bump it up to $20 or $25 a year, in the subsequent year. If anything, we could look at helping you with your ancillary programs, the dental, life insurance, vision. But this has been proved by my leadership team at the regional level. We believe in the work that we can do, and we just want to show you what we can do year one without locking you into a multi-year contract. So.
But you're not a broker that looks around for different companies. You stay only with Blue Cross Blue Shield, right?
Normally, we would look at others, and we would say, hey, United Healthcare, Aetna, Cigna, what other things can you provide? But the feedback that we were given by district leadership was that Blue Cross Blue Shield is approved by the board. We do not want to change that. It's kind of a contingency of our employment. Our folks have come to really like the coverage that's in place. So with that direction, we said we want to work with Blue Cross Blue Shield. We have great access to their leadership, like I said, and we know that among $26 million, there are numerous solutions that we can pull without disrupting the employee-facing benefits to save significant funds in the millions of dollars on just the pharmacy program alone. And there's numerous other things that we can do with the reinsurance, what's called individual stop loss, aggregate stop loss, that does not affect the employees but saves costs. So there's a lot of opportunity for the district. Any other questions you have?
Yeah, so
happy
you would come back
answer.
to us after a year and show us where you saved some of these monies without losing services and without our employees being saying, wait a second, they pulled my insurance, or I had, trouble now getting, claim coverage on this and it took me forever, whatever.
We can do it in shorter than a year. We would be able to validate the savings opportunities for you right after January 1st.
Okay.
You know,
And we're interested in this because we are self-insured. Ultimately, they process our claims, Blue Cross does, but we have to pay for every dollar that's spent. We're reimbursing, right?
that's
We're
absolutely
self-insured.
correct. One other thing, and then you've been waiting
You're fine.
patiently. So we are going to be paid directly through Blue Cross Blue Shield as well. So, that is something that brokers are paid by their carriers. So it's not a separate line item that Waukegan Public Schools is going to have to approve, which we think is a pretty unique compensation aspect.
You're not paid by us? You're paid by them?
It's an admin fee that's paid by Blue Cross Blue Shield. So effectively, it'll be, we'll be able to save money to compensate for our fee.
Oh,
So you become our broker of record, so to speak?
yes.
That's correct. That's
Okay.
correct.
And-
For
and
a
the
12-month
cost,
period.
As our broker, how much is it costing the district for you to be the broker?
It would be $4 per employee per month based on the folks that are enrolled. But again, that's going to be paid directly through an admin fee by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois in the context of your self-insured plan.
Ms. Lensing.
So to Mr. Riddle's point, it's like where you can save us and streamline, but in the proposal, it also has developed overall program design, vision, and multi-year strategy, et cetera. So for me, overall program design also should incorporate mental health services, because stress causes physical harm to our bodies, right? Other mental wellness would improve the health of our bodies, and I'm not seeing anything about mental health in here. And we have a beautiful wraparound center.
Yeah.
We have a great EAP that carries you so far. Currently, our wraparound center can't support 200 or 2,200 employees in addition to our students, in addition to our community, right? But I want everyone to be using mental health services, and I'm not seeing that anywhere in here. And that's my biggest concern, is I'm not seeing any advocacy for that to be in our big picture. And I think we as a board need to factor that in, because we need to make sure our people are good. And if they're good, then our kids are going to be good, and our community is going to be good. And just to reiterate, it has a physical impact on your health, not just.
I work with a lot of districts in the area, and mental health is the fastest diagnostic category, the fastest growing diagnostic category across Blue Cross Blue Shield. When I look at claims utilization reports in the public school sector and the nonprofit sector, so totally agree. USI, as a broker and a consultant, we do not, manage an EAP. We can manage that
No,
on
I'm not
behalf.
saying that you would, but. continue.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that we can for sure communicate in the context of open enrollment meetings. We will actually provide a fully staffed HIPAA compliant call center for families and employees and dependent children to be able to reach out via email and via phone to get direct access to Blue Cross Blue Shield, to fix claim issues, to help with anything that they need, and to get them, access to support. These are USI employees based in the Midwest that would come at no additional cost. It would be built under the, component. So that's one small piece of what we can do in the mental health space, but then we would need to work with Blue Cross Blue Shield to expand on the mental health resources that are offered through their programs.
Right. I'm just not seeing that in the proposal, that's going to be a priority, right? So, and that for me as a board member is something that I would want to see as part of the service you provide to this district.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Kind of piggyback off when you speak of mental health, I'm talking from the physical standpoint. Do you have silver sneakers in there for the employees? Silver sneakers, yes.
Silver sneakers.
'Cause I know most of the Blue Shield Red Cross have silver sneakers in there where they can maybe go to, like what we have here is the field house, and it's free.
Yeah, so they have fitness discount programs through Blue Cross Blue Shield. Everything in the employee benefit space and with insurance comes down to education. It is extremely confusing for even just, somebody like me that does it all day, every day for my career, much less the average consumer. And so having education in the area of mental health, in the area of physical health, and kind of like the comprehensive whole mental being, or physical being is extremely important. So we have population health management consultants as well that can assist in all of those areas. It's really looking at the education piece and making sure that we can communicate to employees. And over my 6 years of being in dealings with the districts at the board level and level, it seems like education, in the human resources supports area is kind of a challenge. There's been some turnover in that area, and there's definitely been just a need for support. You're such a large district with so many people, and healthcare is so high touch, especially for folks that are using it on an ongoing basis, that you just need that extension of your human resources and your finances team to be, another go-between, another resource for your folks. Especially, you're making such a dramatic and large investment in this program every single year. Not to mention the costs have gone up over the last 4 or 5 years by an average of about 8 to 10%. So to continue at that rate scares me as, somebody who lives in Lake County, somebody who cares about this community. And I know, from experience that we can help you sustain the affordability and the great program that you provide for your staff. Because let me start with that, or at least reiterate that. You have a great program. It's affordable for staff, even more so than many of the public school districts that we work with locally. And we want to help you sustain that and make it continually affordable and help your employees be able to maximize the value of the generous program that you're providing.
But I brought it up because I have Blue Shield Red Cross, but I have silver sneakers in that program, and it's free to me. And I think there's other entities like the Park District, school, and so I'm just wondering why the school district don't have it. Township got it, It's free? You do got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They would have it. It's a statute within Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. They have it, but again, sir, it just comes down to the education, making sure the employees know what's available to them. Everybody just knows medical insurance. I go to the doctor, I pay my bill, and that's it. But there are so many other value adds within Blue Cross Blue Shield and, in a modern comprehensive medical program that maybe aren't being communicated. And I know that your staff and their families would really benefit from having, a full education piece, and we can really drive that home, not just this year, but every year that we would be fortunate enough to work with you. So.
Sorry, I have a follow-up question about your call center. So, just so I understand the intent of that. So I think maybe I'm just by myself in this experience, but if you go for an annual exam, typically insurance will cover those. But if you ask a question in your annual exam that leads to something bigger, it recategorizes your office visit outside of an annual exam to a specialty one. So you have to pay out of pocket.
Surprise medical bills.
Yeah, the surprise medical bill, which so now I'm paying $200 for this.
Yeah.
So are you front loading information through that call center, or is that just react?
Both.
Both.
Yeah,
Okay.
both. I mean, that would be part of the open enrollment communications that we would work on in tandem with the leadership team and the HR team. All of those things within a comprehensive benefit guide. And we have bilingual capabilities as well. So we would do that proactive education. And then if, God forbid, one of those scenarios happen, which in today's healthcare environment, it's going to happen constantly, that's where our team comes in and we provide that support, on a person-by-person basis through our Benefit Resource Center. And the folks that work there are fully licensed. They're true healthcare professionals and true health insurance, experts that can help them through that. not only will they help them through that, but they'll actually concierge the care with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. They have a direct portal to Blue Cross where they can work on that for the average employee and then report back with feedback and, in many cases, a resolution. In the 5% of the time that a resolution is not reached through the Benefit Resource Center, me and my team directly get an email and we jump in on behalf of that employee.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Excellent discussion and excellent questions. Knowledge is power, and we want to equip our staff with the best knowledge possible, and also be very proactive in this communication as it relates to health insurance. Our next agenda item is the Boys and Girls Club of Lake County Food Program Proposal. You'll see the proposal attached to the agenda item. Now, this is going to allow for hot meals to be served at 4 of our sites. Now, this is currently under review. But we want to expand this opportunity to the Boys and Girls Club because they are doing this at other districts. We've been longtime partners with them. There are some provisions within the proposal, like I said, that are under review that would require specific support from the school district. So we want to ensure that we have the necessary equipment if needed and the staffing hours to help support as we learn more about this program. But because school has started and we've been presented with this, we did want to bring this forward. We have been in consultation with ISB as well as Ms. Williams' office and our food service provider, Sodexo, to make sure there's no concerns or issues with this because we are a CEP program. But we're bringing this forward because this is ultimately something that would require board approval for implementation after administration and legal review. If there are any specific questions about the program, we do have representatives here from Boys and Girls Club.
Y'all have been waiting so patient.
So, Mr. McBride?
So with the meals being provided, would it be bad after school?
It's for out of school time. Yep. So 186 days of school, after school, we're there at the club sites, and we're going to be serving hot food, hot, healthy, nutritious food every day after school. And then also we have 70 full day program days where our students from Waukegan also join programs there. So and that's from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. At no cost to the students or the parents, no registration fees, no anything. And on those full days, we serve breakfast, lunch, and snack for the students from our kitchen.
So that would be provided by Mrs. Williams. No.
So I think so we were being provided food last year. And the only difference is, and it was it's packaged food. It was prepackaged food that the contractor provided to us. And what we did, and it wasn't just for the school because we had cold box lunches that we served to students across all of our sites. We have 7 other sites outside of those 4 that we're talking about now that were also had food. And the reason why we're responding this way is that we do surveys for the students whether they like the food or not like the food, and in years past we've gotten up to about 32% of the kids that said that they liked the food that we were serving, and this past summer we started serving for a month. We served hot, healthy, nutritious food to the kids, and the number got up to 78% of our students enjoying the food.
And I got one other question. Where did the breakfast come from? I don't understand the breakfast part.
Yeah, so so like on the full days we do breakfast, and so what happens is with the program is we buy the food, we cook the food, we hire the chef. We have an executive chef who he's a dietitian. He has 32 years of experience, cooking, 12 specifically working with helping young people cook the food. I don't know if anyone knows, I'm sure you do. So at least someone does. Chef Rob Collins. He actually works at the Boys and Girls Club now, and he's running our program, and so we're really excited about that.
Yeah, when I was there, I think she's retired now. I think when I was there, she's retired. She used to cook. She's trying to think of her name. but she used to cook and also teach. She also taught cooking programs.
Yeah.
She just recently retired.
Yeah,
And she
yeah.
got her eyesight went bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I don't know, but if I saw her, I probably would. No, I'm not good with names, but yeah, no. There's so the reason why we're doing this is we had a 10 by 10 kitchen, and now we have a 30 by 30 kitchen. It's a USDA, commercial kitchen that we're going to be cooking out of, and then delivering food. So yeah, at the Southside Y, Well, now it's the Boys and Girls Club, but it used to be the Southside Y. Yeah.
Mr. Riddle.
Yeah, Mr. Constantino. So just to clarify, the food is actually being cooked at your kitchen.
Yes.
And then it would be transported to our 4 sites.
Yes.
For after school programming, and they would have dinner first and then snack time, according to the schedule here. So what are we actually doing? Are we transporting it at all? We're not
transporting it.
We're just storing it or just serving it at our sites and cleaning up afterwards.
If we
right?
pull up
we're
the
cleaning
form,
up.
it tells you.
We're cleaning up
All the way
afterwards
to
as
the
well,
bottom?
but we're within.
Okay, so really, are we going to be asked
Right
to do?
there.
Just to approve this, the food being served in our facilities? Is that what we're going to be asked? So there's no cost to the district for this?
It's up on the.
Yeah, so if you'll,
It's up on your.
Mr. Riddle,
Oh, I have it. I've been reading it. I just
Yeah.
don't know what support needed from Waukegan Schools, the space, the dining room access, the sinks for cleanup, garbage cans, technical assistance, identified entry.
So
So
that's
really,
the
we're
need.
not doing anything. You're providing the food, you're transporting it to us, the kids are eating it in our facility, and then your
Throwing
people
it
are
away.
throwing it away. They're just cleaning up afterwards. So you're really just
Custodian.
using our facility. Is that all you're gonna ask for?
So, yeah, so
And
that is,
then do we become liable at all if somebody gets sick because it's in our facility? I guess that's a technical question or legal question.
I got a question.
So yes, we have all responsibility if anyone gets sick.
So really, I guess this is probably going to be on our board agenda coming up. So you're just basically asking the district to approve using our facility to serve the food in a program that you guys are
That's
running.
already there.
Yes.
It's already running the program at our facility.
Mhm.
And it's hot food in
Mhm.
most cases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every day, hot food every single day.
Sounds great.
Sorry.
Sounds terrific. I like it.
So, Mr. Riddle, so from the district standpoint, there are just a few things that we're reviewing to confirm. One is we're utilizing space.
Yes,
Okay, so
sure.
first and foremost, even though we prioritize the space for our students, we're utilizing space. If there's any ancillary costs as it relates to cleaning, there's a reference here to sinks, garbage cans for disposal of paper products, which could be district materials. So those are some of the fine details we need to clarify just to make sure there's no cost to the district. But like I said, we are great partners with the Boys and Girls Club, so we don't anticipate that'll be an issue. But I did want to make that point because there is some support needed from the district for this specific program. But the goal would be the cost would not be to the district,
Right.
and we would just be providing the space at these sites.
Sounds like a great program. It's wonderful that you're providing hot meals. And these are our kids. These are our students. So, wow, and we're already partnering with you, so I love it. Great.
Ms. Fabian.
So is the intent of this, the way that I'm reading it, will this be reimbursable? Will this be part of our national food program? Is that how we're,
So it is, so we will be reimbursed
them.
for that. So we,
okay.
any.
So you guys will be doing the paperwork for that
Yes,
as
we will
well?
be doing the
Perfect.
paperwork to get all the reimbursements and everything. Yeah.
Okay.
Ms. Lindsay.
I just wanted to give you your flowers, right? Because I think it takes a lot of work and intentionality, not even just to like figure out how do we feed these kids, which if they don't have food in their bellies, they're not going to be able to
Right.
learn. They're not going to be able to function. That's primary. That's basics, right? And so like this is such a, in my opinion, beautiful gift to give to these kids, but to also then look at, okay, let's check in. We were serving these meals and we're at 30%. Let's pivot, let's address. Now we're at, you said 73?
78.
78%. Yeah, shortchanged you 5. 78%. That's fantastic. And I'm sure the amount of waste you are seeing is drastically
Yeah,
reduced.
right.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to support you guys with this because you're right. Our kids are your kids are our kids. We're all in this together. Every kid needs a meal. So I'm really excited that you brought this to us.
Thank you.
It's gonna be great.
We're so proud. We're so proud just because we, one of the things when I started working at the Boys and Girls Club 3 years ago, and one of the things that I saw was, kids taking this box of food, opening it, taking out the cheese stick, and throwing away the rest of the food, right?
Yeah.
Because there's the commodity sandwich that's in there that could be soggy, that could have,
It's
icicles
nasty.
on it,
Yep.
they're just mushy, whatever.
Yep, it's
And if I was hungry, I would eat it.
Right.
And we have kids who I ask them like, who likes, because we get chicken nuggets, we get fajitas, and that sounds great,
Yeah.
but they're cold.
Yeah.
And then kids say, I like cold chicken nuggets. And I say, you don't like cold chicken nuggets. You're just hungry, right?
Yeah.
And now we're serving meatball sandwiches. We're serving nachos with meat and cheese and salad from our garden. We have 16 garden beds, and we chop up the Swiss chard, and it's an acquired taste. But
You get used to it.
and
Yeah.
the kids enjoy the hot, healthy meals we serve.
And that's just respect.
It is.
Right.
And when parents drop their kids off, and the kids say, "I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I don't like the food. I don't eat." The kids they're lethargic, right? They eat lunch at 11 o'clock at school. They get out at 3. They come to us at 3:15, starving, right? Because maybe that lunch was their only meal they had that day, and then we give them, a meal that they throw 90% away of it, right? So it's like, and then they're slow. They're not, filled with energy. And now this summer we saw like it's different. The neighbors are like, "Hey, can they keep it down?" I'm like, "No,
No, let 'em be good."
They're filled with energy, right? And they're activated, right? And you can't we're talking about enrichment every single day. You're not going to want to learn if you're hungry. I know how I am when I'm hangry, right? Whenever you can't concentrate because you need to sustain yourself, and so we're so proud that we get to do this.
Mr. Castellanos,
for
can
our
you tell
kids,
us who the
our
gentleman is
community.
that's with you? Can you present him?
Oh, sorry.
please?
This is Jim Westfall. He's our COO. In case anybody asks for a breakdown of the entire process of how we're going to get the meals from the freezer and the refrigerator to the kids, and who's going to wash pots and pans and all that. Jim could tell you everything backwards and forwards.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Fabian has her hand up again.
And just because
Mr. Robert
Ms.
Bright.
Lensing pointed out how you were able to increase those numbers, I think that's something that we often talk about here on the board is when we're looking for food service providers, right? We also are looking for the quality of the food. And we know that, we can't cook fresh for the 13,000 students all the time, but there are things that we can do. And so if you can pass on your knowledge of the things that you have learned that have really increased, the likelihood that a child's going to eat and enjoy the meal. If you could share those tips also with our nutrition department and how those surveys were conducted and what they looked like, because I feel like that's very valuable information that we could use to support our students while they're within the school day.
No, absolutely. I mean, we had them do a handwritten survey. What did you like? What did you not like? Every single day. So now we're serving Milagro tortillas because the kids were like, "Hey, these white tortillas are breaking apart all over the place." And one of the kids told me like, "Hey, I don't know what they're called, but and I showed it, and they were like, "Yeah, this is." So now that's what
That
we're
is
getting.
sold out
It's
if you don't
it's
get
just
it
all
before
about
10 a.m.
it's all about what the kids want to eat, right? And
Best
we want to
79
make the
cents you
food
spent.
as healthy as we can. But we know if we serve Brussels sprouts, they're not going to eat them. So we got to serve them something they are going to eat. Right?
Or
So-
disguise them.
Yeah.
Or cook them in a way that is enjoyable, like raw broccoli. Mr. Moten, I'm excited
love it.
for when
I
we get
know.
our thing back, but
I love
I don't like raw broccoli, right?
My
Like,
kids love them. They call them little trees.
And
I
it's-
mean,
it's-
but like it's adapting to them. It's like you
It is.
still need the minerals and the vitamins in these
the
foods,
nutrition, the protein,
right?
everything,
But we
yep.
need to present it so that you're like, oh, it can be delicious.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
Mr. McBride.
I'll shut up.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you. When I was working down there, the Boys and Girls Club, the kitchen, I'm glad to see it expanded because actually in your manual right now, there's a program called Passport to Manhood.
Yeah.
I created that program.
Oh, okay.
And while I was down there, that was one of the components I put in there in the Passport to Manhood, teaching kids how to cook. And I did that because, not just cooking, you know, also how to iron clothes, go out and shop. And so it was just more or less trying to teach them growing up to be, how to be a man. But that kitchen was very, it was very exciting. I can remember the first thing I tried to teach them to cook was some grits. And they got ahead of me. And they put the grits in the water without boiling it. And that was, but it was a lesson learned, you know. So, but I would also, you know, take them to the grocery store. I was teaching economics along with it, and take them to the grocery stores, and you know, I'd take about 8 of them, and I'd say, well, you go over here, you pick this out, and they come back. And it was a comparison that I used. Sometimes they would bring me something back, cost maybe $3. I say, well, you could have got this for $2, so you go back and look and bring it back. So, but that in your manual right now, it's called Passport to Manhood. I created that. Now it's kind of, I guess it's in all the Boys and Girls Clubs now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, no, it is. And part of, so it's not just us feeding the kids. Also, you know, because we have Chef Rob Collins on there, we have a staff member who has experience in teaching kids how to cook. And what we want to do is with our teenagers, we want to be able to have a punch list of like, these are all the skills that I learned while cooking in the club. And even, I mean, we've had kids say, why don't we start a catering company and we can start serving food? I'm like, and they'll get paid for it, right? And so the kitchen isn't just, you know, a celebration of a kitchen. You know, it's a celebration of a classroom kitchen when we're going to be able to teach kids workforce development skills and feed hot, healthy, nutritious food to about 700 kids this fall.
Nice.
Yep. Every single day, 700 meals every single day. So but we'll see. Yeah.
Miss Hannah.
Miss, just one question, quick clarification, actually. Ms. Williams, the reimbursement part, that is on the Boys and Girls Club. And so what, if any, impact will that have on our reimbursement because of the
Right. So we will lose that reimbursement if that's what you're asking?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out
We went
there.
back
I
and
know there's
forth about
something.
that, and I understand that we will lose it. That's why it's a board decision. But then I think about the outcome that it has for our students. So I believe that's more important, but it's up to you all to decide on.
Okay, and I guess maybe what would be beneficial for the board to see is the what are the financial, what are we going to be losing in reimbursement?
I can get that number.
Yeah, because I know that there was gonna be something.
I'll get that number for you. I'll take the number of students that he's going to serve. Provide the information to you later.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other
Thank you.
comments or questions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Castellanos. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Westphal.
Thank you very much for all you're doing.
The week of September 21st, we'll send a communication out. We're going to have an open house for our new kitchen. We're going to be do a ribbon cutting and stuff like that, so everybody can come and take a look at the kitchen and everything.
What day is it?
The week of September 21st.
What time?
It's going to be a Wednesday. It's going to be around 4 o'clock.
Okay.
I'll send out the exact. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's going to be like a 4 to 6 thing. So you can come and you'll eat. You can eat. We eat the lunch, right? We eat the lunch and you know we give feedback too, and so it's yeah. So, yep. Okay.
Good, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next information item is the Property Casual Insurance Consulting Renewal Agreement, prorated for the rest of the year with West Insurance. All right. We do have a report regarding the Yeoman Creek update, as well as the 3 financial reports. Are there any questions or comments on those reports?
Can I just make a quick comment on the Yeoman Creek project? I'm just so happy that the Yeoman Creek project is moving right along. They started September the 1st, and they're going till October 18th to sign up, folks. I looked on the website tonight. It still shows there's 1,313, so 1,313 spots still open. So if you haven't registered yet, you can go online to powermarket.io, then click on ComEd as your solar provider. You'll find Yeoman Creek is the first one listed, this Yeoman Creek Solar. And then you'll notice that it says 50% savings on discount on your electrical supply. That is huge. Most community solars only give you 20%. There is no cancellation fee. You can sign up online, and if you're not able to do it online, you can do it by calling the number there to Power Market. But I'm surprised that we have that many slots remaining. There is a needs application. You do have to fill in some information with your name and all that sort of stuff, and then also upload your Medicaid information or whatever, something that justifies that you're in need of this. And we certainly want everybody to sign up. Did you say there's somebody here from the Community Solar Project?
Not this evening.
Not this evening. Okay, I just wanted to get that information into people to
I thought in the
to
map it
basically sign up. If you're a Waukegan resident, you do not have to own a home. You can be a renter. And like I said, you can do it online, or you can go on to powermarket.io. Go onto that website. It will give you a number to call if you're not too sure, and just tell them you're a Waukegan resident. You want to sign up to the community solar project that they are running at Yeoman Creek, and they'll walk you through the project.
Yep. Thank you for that information, Mr. Riddle. And Power Market has also been in touch with our chief of staff, so you may see some additional communication on that in the partnership.
Perfect.
Yes.
That's what I was going to ask for, because most people, if it sounds too good to be true, it must not be true. And I've heard this even with my families. They're like, that doesn't sound like, it sounds like a scheme or ripoff, because we also know that there are door knockers that come and try to sell you solar and try to sell you different companies. So I think an endorsement from the school district saying, we've partnered with them, this is legit, families, please take advantage, would help decrease that number.
Right.
And then number two, if someone could verify, because my understanding was that as a Waukegan resident, you didn't have to meet certain criterias. We were within that boundary map that as long as your address was in Waukegan, you qualify, so that they didn't have to upload, proof of income or that, they're disabled or anything. So
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
So if
I'll
somebody
give them a call on that, because when you look on the website, it does, I walked it through, and it does ask for you to upload, your Medicaid.
But I thought like we were on that map that we were exempt from that. I think if you're outside of but I don't know. So if somebody can clarify that, and when the communication goes out to our families, if that could be made very clear as well, if they don't have to upload. I think more people are prone to do an application when they don't have to upload so many documents.
Right, and they can call, the number is there, they can call Power Market, because they are the organization selling this, or, marketing this.
Marketing.
But it is legit, and it is a great benefit. One of the fellows in my church signed up recently, and he's excited about it because he has a all-electric apartment, and his bills run, and he's challenged, economically, so this is going to be a great benefit to him. Okay.
Thank you for that feedback. We'll ensure that's clear when that goes out. And that concludes our agenda items.
Right.
All righty. And if there's nothing further, I would like to ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to
Motion by
adjourn.
Mr. Riddle adjourn. Second by Mr. McBride. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned at 9:37 p.m.